trail of terror to his Japanese homeland.
Captain, water in the conning tower.
Godzilla! Roaring defiance to the only enemy on Earth strong enough to challenge him. The uncomfortable King Kong, giant gorilla god of this South Seas paradise, where sensuous maidens offer themselves in ritual sacrifice to his brute embrace.
Godzilla has a brain about this size. He is sheer brute force. While Kong is a thinking animal. His brain is considerably larger, about 10 times the size of this gorilla's skull. Being instinctive rivals, there is no doubt that they will attempt to destroy one another.
King Kong versus Godzilla, heading for their colossal collision, shattering every obstacle that stands between them in the most fantastic rampage of annihilation ever recorded on film. See King Kong stamp Tokyo into the ground, holding a beautiful girl in his grasp. See Godzilla destroy an entire army. See King Kong trapped by the blazing barrier of 1 billion volts. But nothing, nobody can stop the great showdown when King Kong and Godzilla meet to fight for survival of the fittest.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of any major corporation whatsoever.
Whatsoever. I have no right complaining about this. Eleanor, Maxwell, whatever you were doing to make her scream, please stop, okay?
Eleanor doesn't have any reason to rant either.
She has not been screaming all day. She's just been a happy-go-lucky baby.
She's just screaming.
Like, we went to the store and the employees were just like, wow, your baby certainly isn't screaming, is what they were all saying. That's what they were all saying.
Do you have a washer and a dryer?
Yes.
Okay, put her in the dryer.
Okay, that's a really good idea. I might have to do that.
It'll muffle the sound a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nevertheless, I will continue to formally lodge my complaint that I have no right complaining about. I will continue, because I'm a professional, I will continue to formally lodge my complaint thusly. They canceled my favorite Christian talk show.
They what? They what?
They canceled my favorite Christian talk show. And I'm upset about it.
They canceled your favorite Christian talk show?
Yes, they canceled my favorite Christian talk show, and I'm upset about it.
Oh my God.
Okay, so let me explain.
I didn't think those things get canceled.
No, let me explain. Okay, there's too much. Let me sum up. I drive 45 to 50 minutes to get to work, and then 45 to 55 minutes to get home. I also work 5 times a week. Now, I'm no math whiz, but I believe, carry the 2, that equals about 82 hours of driving a week.
Mm-hmm.
I might be off by quite a bit. And I get bored, so I play around with the radio. I've been playing around with it for the last 2 years, and for the last 2 years or so, I've been vaguely obsessed with AFR, American Family Radio. AFR Talk, a ministry of the American Family Association. The American Family Association is a Christian organization devoted to steering America back to traditional Christian values. And apparently, that means that all gays are evil and abortion doctors should be jailed and liberals are evil.
Yeah.
Interesting fact, the Southern Poverty Law Center
That
lists...
affects your family.
Yeah,
that all affects your family.
Yeah. Interesting fact, the Southern Poverty Law Center lists AFA as an extremist group because of their very angry and violent attitudes towards gays and Muslims. But I don't trust the Southern Poverty Law Center. I don't like my lawyers to be poor Southern people.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah. I maybe the Southern have a lot of money because they're successful law center.
That would be a good idea.
That I might trust more. So AFR is their radio empire of networks all across the nation that has been very successful in convincing poor rural white people that Jesus wants you to kick poor people off of healthcare and that you really do need to be shitty to people who sin.
Yes.
That's an important part of Christianity. Mary Magdalene, who the hell was that? Cough, cough, slut, cough, cough. Like that Bible story where Jesus is like, excuse me, sinner, I see that you are troubled, but if I help you, that's condoning your lifestyle.
Yes.
And I can't do that. Hashtag Jesus don't play that.
Jesus don't play that.
Yeah, that's what Jesus used to do. It's like, hey, you're a sinner. Fuck you. Why don't you just get off of your ass and help yourself, sinner? What's with all these poor people doing? They need to get jobs. Then we can all be successful. Like me. My dad's God. Yeah. So Jesus did say that to the sinners too. I can't help or condone your lifestyle. Wash your own feet, bitch. Oh, bitcheth. That's the original King James.
You have to read it in the original Greek to really pick up that message, his true message.
And Jesus did say to the sinner, I cannot help you because I do not condone your lifestyle. Washeth thine own feet, bitcheth, saith the Lord. So I'd drive and I'd put AFR on and I would see how long I could listen before I'm screaming at the radio in a rage. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So I listen to AFR when corporate radio annoys me, which is a lot, and when NPR gets boring, which is also a lot. Today on NPR, Donald Trump and his increasing list of scandals, his ever-changing cabinet, and the threat of nuclear annihilation. But first, an 11-minute story on soybeans. And that is NPR.
Yeah.
I don't know. I listen to NPR on my lunch period, and it's a 1A. I listen to NPR at 1A, and I don't remember who the host is. But today was kind of interesting. They have different topics. Today they talked about earthquakes. And your state came up quite often.
Oh, hell yeah. We're the earthquake capital of America right now.
Just about, yep.
Yeah, it's weird. All the earthquakes, though, happen in northern Oklahoma. They happen in Oklahoma City on up. So Oklahoma City and Tulsa and everything, they're getting a bunch of earthquakes. And people are always like, oh my God, I heard there was a big earthquake in Oklahoma. Steve, are you okay? Yeah, I slept like a baby. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Plenty of earthquakes, just FYI.
Like, you're from Los Angeles? Do you know my cousin Rudy?
Yeah.
Something's going on in Texas. I don't know what, though.
A hurricane.
Is it a hurricane?
Yeah, well, right now it's a tropical storm turning into a hurricane, yeah.
I don't know.
They're going to wash them into the ocean.
I just noticed people I speak to occasionally on Facebook mentioning something, and I noticed that they were from Texas.
Yeah, it's hitting on Friday, which is why my weekend is going to be a bit dodgy.
Ah, okay.
Like Saturday and Sunday, I should be getting rain. Probably Sunday. Yes, but it's not going to affect us because we're in the middle of nowhere. Texas and I believe Louisiana are going to get shit. And Eleanor has the TV remote. You really need to be more on guard because she will destroy everything you love. Just FYI. And that's called being a parent. Yeah. So,
how does Texas get hit with a storm like that,
well,
though?
yeah, they are on the Gulf there.
Huh.
My freaking phone keeps lighting up as if I have a message, and I don't have a message, and it's driving me insane, and I'm going to get pissed off.
Maybe it's lonely.
So, I guess it just wants attention.
Yeah.
Like my phone's turning into a cat, basically. So, for a year or two, I've been listening to shrill, lifeless Ice Queen Sandy Rios in the morning.
Uh-huh.
She says that she's a warrior for Jesus, but she's basically like Donald Trump's fluffer.
Yes.
All she does is try to convince Christians that republicanism is in the Bible.
That republicanism is in the Bible. Wow.
Yeah, basically anything Donald Trump does, she praises as biblical.
Oh, man.
Very disturbingly defensive of Donald Trump. And his response to Charlottesville, like, that was suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, here he is he's not condoning Nazis. He said that he hates evil in all forms. What more do these liberals want? You know who's the real Nazis? The liberals saying, we don't want Nazis. They're the real Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a bunch of fun. So after Sandy Rios in the mornings, she's on when I'm going to work, and then halfway to work, it switches to Financial Matters with New Jersey Guido Dan Celia, and he talks about the stock market from a biblical perspective.
Oh, my God. How exactly does he do that?
I don't listen. I cannot listen. He's like a Guido too.
Yeah.
So he just talks about markets and takes boring calls and is still blaming Obama for everything. I quickly tap out when it comes to Financial Matters with Dan Celia. Now on the way home, I would always catch the last 15 to 20 minutes of Nothing But Truth with your host, Craig Durham. Now don't get me wrong. This guy is an asshat.
Yeah.
Hillary and Obama and seriously, Eleanor, stop yelling at Maxwell. Stop. You're just straight up yelling. Yeah, she is. She's been quiet and happy this entire day, and once I started the podcast, she's just, it's screaming time. Well, she hears you rambling on, so she wants to be a part of it. No, she just wants to yell at Maxwell now. It's just Maxwell yelling time. Are you hungry? She has eaten so much. So according to Craig Durham's Nothing But Truth, Hillary and Obama and George Soros are secretly bankrolling Black Lives Matter, and they're waging war against Donald Trump and the Republican Party with their army of top secret deep state spies, and they're actually helping ISIS along with all the gays and Muslims and yada, 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 yada.
Yes.
People like this really do need little tinfoil hats for when they're hanging out with Alex Jones. And scream about chemtrails and water that turns the friggin' frogs gay.
Wouldn't you like to lock a lot of them in a room and just listen to them argue?
Yeah.
That would be some entertaining shit. We should do that. That should be a show.
Yeah.
Where you just get two guests from opposing sides who are both fucking out of their minds.
Yeah.
Like the flat earthers and the hollow earthers. Let them thrash it out for a while.
Yeah. Or maybe have like a strange Battle of the Network Stars reboot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, Scientists and chemtrails battle it out in the survival zone.
There was a clip of Alex Jones. I don't know if you've seen this one. It's great. You might have heard about the coffee incident.
The what?
Alex Jones was filming someplace and somebody ran up and threw a cup of coffee in his face. But that was staged. Okay? But after that, there was this guy walking up the street. He was like just on the edge of the camera, and he flipped Alex Jones off, and he was just kind of going on his way. And Alex Jones went berserk and chased him across the street to tell him to fuck off. And the guy just looks back. The guy is still walking. The guy just looks back and he is like, I am fucking off. You are chasing me.
Right? Yeah. Freaking crazy.
Yeah.
People are crazy. People are crazy.
Yes.
I just don't understand modern Christianity. I don't understand how Christians can be like, I'm a proud Christian. I believe in the Bible and I believe in Jesus. I also believe that poor people shouldn't have access to basic health care.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How are Christians, like, how much denial are you in right now with the Donald Trump presidency?
See, the thing, how it kind of looks to me is like crazy is colliding. It's kind of like a hurricane, okay? It's over the Gulf. It starts building up steam, building up power, building up energy, swirling around, all of that. And all of the crazy that we have always had is now swirling together and combining. Like 10 years ago, Christians were still fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have backed Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane. Now they're literally defending Nazis. So we got crazy Christians.
Crazy Christians.
Colliding with Nazis, which they're Nazis. It goes without saying that they're crazy.
Yeah.
Which is combining with the Klan, which has never happened. Oddly enough, the Klan and the Nazis always hated each other. Never really figured that out, but now they're in the mix. Your basic Confederate goofball is in the mix.
Hold on, Johnny. You say that, how many years ago Christians would never have ever thought to, like, back Nazis? And this is, like, Hitler was a Christian.
Yes.
So it makes sense, in my head at least, the Christians are, like, gonna back this. Because most Christians are white American men, and then they drag their kids and their wife and their mistress, because, let's face it,
right.
They're the ones that have 5 mistresses and 3 kids that are illegitimate.
Right.
But they drag them in, and then they hate the browns and the blacks and the yellows,
right,
and the purples, pinks, and whatever, the rainbows. And so, in my head, it makes sense.
Well, I'm not saying that there's not reason for the crazy to be combining like this.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm just saying that 10 or 20 years, maybe more like 20, Christians would not have backed Nazis.
No, but 10 or 20 years ago, we never thought we would have a president in office who was such a fucking racist.
Yeah.
The fact that Trump is in office has done exactly what we all knew would happen, and has given free reign, well, not free reign, but, given them permission to go ahead and be openly racist and go ahead and hate without pretending anymore. Mm-hmm. They no longer feel the need and the societal pressure to pretend that they're good Christian people who love everybody like, Jesus did, the brown person who they whitewashed. So they are out there and they're like carrying their little tiki torches, and the fucking Tiki Brand company is there to be like, no, we do not condone this shit.
Yes.
Even before the fucking president did. So, I mean, I'm just saying, Christians and Nazis go hand in hand in my head.
I do appreciate that they had said that that the only thing they stand for is outdoor patio fun.
Right?
I love some of the companies that are coming out of the woodwork because of this president. Like the makers of Dinty Moore stew would like to say that we think Nazis are bad.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
It's pretty incredible.
All of the companies are coming out and like, no. Sorry, we do not do this. We hate Nazis, and they shouldn't exist. And the president is still hemming and hawing over there, like, I don't know. Both sides, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides, president.
The makers of Jordache jeans would like to come out and say that racism sucks.
Yeah, which he omitted in his Phoenix rally last night.
No, fucking Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the picture on Twitter?
Which one? From what?
There was a picture on Twitter. I didn't see whatever pictures were coming out of that. I didn't see. I saw one picture, and all it said was the Arizona rally from another angle, and it was from the back of the room wherever this rally was, and it was like, I don't know, 85% empty.
Yes.
I was just like,
see
damn.
that.
Hey! What do you think you're doing?
These kids are going insane.
It's just day's life, sweetheart.
But see, I tend to know that when I'm watching him speak, and I'm like, that's a really tight shot on him, and the shot's not moving to any other angles.
Yeah.
There's nobody here.
Right.
Because if there were people here, they would definitely pull back the camera according to how big the crowd is.
Yeah.
Oh, and the black guy right behind him.
Oh, the black guy behind him.
Oh, who was the guy who was insane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's insane. He's literally insane.
That was freaking off.
He reminds me of the John 3:16 guy.
Yeah.
He's like a modern day John 3:16 rainbow wig guy. Yeah. I await the day that the Blacks for Trump guy also gets 3 life sentences.
No, you know what? I'm wonder if the gays for Trump are still going strong.
Yeah.
Because we need to look them up. It's a gay couple, and they are all like gays for Trump, and they carried around the rainbow flag with the "Don't Tread on Me" snake on it, and they would speak out against other gays who were against Trump, and tried to sing Trump's praises.
Yeah.
And we should look that up.
Also, Caitlyn Jenner finally turned. Caitlyn Jenner, she was finally like, okay, sorry I backed Trump. That was a mistake. He sucks, and I get that now. So I imagine that,
there's a lot of people who back Trump who are like, damn, we didn't realize the depth of his crazy because we had blinders on.
Yeah.
Yes.
By money.
Yeah.
But there is still the diehards, and watching the news is kind of funny because they're having a harder and harder time to get like a real Trump supporter.
But here's the thing, and this is something that I have learned from years of living, in my family. If you say something, you support something, and you back it, and then it turns out to be the wrong horse, you will bend over backwards, and you will do every fucking thing. You will twist words, and you will go to great lengths to find the smallest speck of truth in what you backed, so that you aren't proven wrong. Even when wrong is screaming in your face, they will still say, no, I backed the red horse. I was right. I did the right thing. I'm right. Like a fucking toddler throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening now. Even though they can plainly see, and Trump is not working even in their best favor right now, like their issues right now with Trump, they're not being supported. And still, they're like, oh, Trump. Dude, the fucking floor is falling out from underneath you. When are you going to go ahead and say, nah, we got to get this motherfucker out? You know?
Yeah. I really have to wonder if maybe Kim Kardashian would not have been a better choice.
Dude, Kanye West would have been a better choice at this point. Okay, and that's saying something.
Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, this is where the history books are going to have to record that we were heading for nuclear war and World War III, and we had Nazis marching in the street in August. Okay, like this is not over the span of years or anything like that. It's like
6 months.
that was August.
Yeah.
That's chicken.
Yeah, that wasn't over the course of 3 years. It was in 1 month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along with who's getting fired, who's walking out, you know, who's trying to build up support on their side.
And you're forgetting the biggest story. ABC finally allowed for there to be a black bachelorette. That's the biggest story. Hey, we here at ABC aren't racist. That's why we're allowing a colored to be on our big show. ABC, not racist.
Oh.
So watch this new episode of The Black Bachelorette. I mean, The Bachelorette. That's the name of the show.
Is it sponsored by Pepsi by any chance?
Anyway, I liked Craig Durham's Nothing But Truth. He would ask the most leading, rambling questions. Today we've got Al Jacobson. He is the founder of Muslim Watch USA. Now I'm going to ask you, what do you think about the current climate in American politics, in the sense that America is crumbling under the weight of the liberals and their lies? Do you think that we are headed towards an Armageddon in the sense that? And then like 5 minutes later, he's done with his question, and the guy's just, oh, well, absolutely. It's like, what else can you say? He's just leading you. He's leading the horse to water and grabbing the back of the horse's head and shoving it under the water.
Well, that's the thing, is they ask leading questions, and they like to direct your answers, and that's where, even when they like interview liberals and leftists and all that, they try to get you to say things out of context.
Yeah.
And then they try to use it against you with sound bites and shit. So why don't people just be like, who was it? I had somebody on Twitter, black guy, black actor, called Fox out.
Yeah.
What is his name, honey? I want to say something is shit. But anyways, he was on TV with a white Fox News anchor.
Yeah.
And she had said something about Black Lives Matter, and he fucking went off.
Oh yeah.
Name? Yeah. Oh, okay. Talk. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
It's amazing. You gotta watch it.
Also, Craig Durham used to be a regular mainstream DJ a long time ago. So every once in a while you tune in and he's talking about how Islam needs to be eliminated and we need to get rid of the gays. And also, here's a 9-minute rant about Austin Powers. I loved this fucking guy. Anyway, he's off the air now. They took him off the air. Craig Durham's Nothing But Truth. It was a vital part of my drive home.
Yes.
And they took it off. And I know I have no right complaining about this because I'm not Christian and I'm not, you know. But God damn it, I love that show.
You could write the station anyway.
They replaced it with Abraham Hamilton III's show.
His name is my name too.
He's one of those minorities who has become famous and rich by being the minority who talks against his own race.
Yes.
You know, I've talked about this on the podcast. I know that I could be rich at any second if I just become a Republican and tell white people how Mexicans are all rapists and thieves and we should
Yes.
build a wall. I could be rich in a second if I just sell out my own race, because that makes racist white people feel better about themselves. That's Abraham Hamilton III, and I just freaking hate this guy. He's no Craig Durham, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Pisses me off. So I've been trying to listen to more AM radio, which should really get an award for still existing. I love AM radio so much. In the mornings, Oklahoma City Talk Radio 1000.
Yeah.
They play, what's his name? Glenn Beck. And oh my God, he's so depressed now. It's amazing to listen to Glenn Beck because he knows that he's losing ratings and he's losing stations and people don't love him like he used to and his media empire is crumbling and you can hear it in his voice. Like every second of his show, he seems like he's seconds away from jumping off of the roof. Hudsucker Proxy style. He's just going to jump one day. He's so depressed. And then this just happened like a couple of days ago. On my way home, AM Talk Radio 1000 turns into a call-in show where anybody from Oklahoma can call and talk about anything.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a bunch of old people, and they're all complaining and pissed off about their life, basically. And the other day, this is like 2 days ago, I tuned in to the show, and they go, "Oh, well, thanks for your call, Mark. We're going to be going now to John in Shawnee, Oklahoma," which is where I'm from. "John, how are things in Shawnee?" "Well, things are fine. And let me tell you, I just wanted to touch on what that last caller said about these liberals taking down Confederate monuments. Now, I'm not sure if you realize this, but we have a veterans memorial there in downtown at the town square over by City Hall. And we actually have 2 Confederates that are being memorialized on our Veterans Memorial. I don't think a lot of people know this, but we've got one Northern soldier and 2 Southern soldiers whose names are being memorialized on our memorial there. And the radio host was saying, "Well, are people upset about that? Are you getting protests there in Shawnee?" And the guy, the caller, went nuts, and he said, "No, people aren't even being able to get to the memorial, to reach to the memorial. And I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is all of these Pookie Man hunters with their smartphones, and they're catching Pokemons in front of the memorial. They're blocking the way so no one can get to the memorial because they're all catching Pokemans."
Wow.
Yeah, apparently the archway of the Veterans Memorial here in Shawnee is a Pokestop. It might even be a gym, I'm not sure. So apparently it's pissing off old people that they can't get to their Veterans Memorial because in front of the Veterans Memorial is like 12, 20-somethings. That are all battling and stuff. I don't know. Do you like it?
Yes.
Okay. There's a page and then there's a group. There's the Pope on Film Facebook page, and then there's the Pope on Film discussion group.
Yes.
The discussion group
All
you
right,
can definitely
fine.
post on.
You can look up your damn self.
Okay.
Anyway, the actor I was talking about was D.H. Hewley, and he was on Fox News, and it was a year ago. I'm sorry, 2016. He was talking to Kelly, whatever her white bitch is her name now.
Yeah.
Kelly White bitch. He was speaking to her about the police shootings, and he shut the bitch down because she tried to say something about it, and he was like, "Oh, no. Something about cops. Look it up. It's on Fox News. On their website. It's called D.H. Hewley Speaks Out Against Recent Police Shootings." And she takes offense. She fucking takes offense. Like, bitch, like, you aren't a white person. You have no idea what it's like.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't care if he's a privileged actor, but yeah. They were interviewing about his book, I guess.
I could probably look him up on YouTube later.
Yeah, you should. And it's fucking hilarious because she gets shut down so quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, look it up.
I will.
Watch it and laugh.
Yeah, so when you listen to AM radio, it becomes crystal clear who is keeping AM radio in existence. It's in the commercials.
Yes.
It's in the commercials. One thing that I know is that I don't like pain when I use my catheter. Like, okay, it's obvious who is listening to AM radio. Mm-hmm. Have you thought about quality long-term life insurance? To make sure your loved ones are secure in the event of your passing, which will no doubt happen very soon.
Yes.
And there was a commercial the other day that I heard on AM radio, and it was for this play of the epic story of a young boy raised in wealth who led the Jewish people through the desert and gave us the 10 Commandments. It's the epic play of Moses. And it's this big, huge, massive, like 2-minute long radio commercial featuring lines from this play and dialogue and music and sound effects. And it's this epic play. Yes, Moses, the epic play that you see to believe. And you can only see it here in Branson, Missouri. And I'm like, wait a second. So this commercial is for something that you can only see in one city in America.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible to have like a worldwide commercial for something that happens in just one place, you know?
I am thinking that maybe they got their advertising for the movie in a package.
It's not even a movie, it's a play. It's a play that happens at some resort in Branson.
So like it worked out cheaper to sell your ad to a bunch of stations instead of just the local stations.
Yeah. Therefore, Bunny Wunny, I am pleased to announce my brand new commercial.
Okay.
Complete silence, please, as I start my brand new commercial. What are you gonna fuck? How are you gonna fuck with me? You don't even need to fuck with me, honey. The baby's screaming like crazy. Thanks, Maxwell. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Daddy.
You were getting it out before you started.
Okay.
Don't you get that?
Sure.
We're doing you a favor.
Sure.
Sir.
Sure. I was about... Oh, you're taking the baby away?
Well, yeah, I mean, because, what else?
What are you doing, Bella? What are you doing? Why are you spitting? Why? In a world full of boring white bread storytellers. Thanks for screaming, Bella. That's really awesome. Way to ruin my commercial. No, it's I understand. I'm a dad, so no one has to listen to me. I'm not mom or anything. Boring children with lame stories and complicated crafts. A world where kids are told to put on listening ears and sit Indian style. Seriously, it's 2017. You would think it would have been changed to Native American style by now or something like that, but,
It is also known as Taylor style. So I think that would be more than adequate.
Okay. Taylor Swift style.
She's so hot right now.
Yeah. One brave storyteller dared to be different. His name was Mr. Steve. This is the vocal font that they use now in every political commercial as well. Not just it's gone from being the cheesy movie trailer voice to the we're going to scare you into voting Republican voice.
Yeah.
His name is Mr. Steve, and he has been entertaining kids for over 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see his celebrated story times for free every Saturday at 11 at the Barnes & Noble bookstore in Norman, Oklahoma. And if you can't make it, you can still watch Mr. Steve live every Saturday on the Storytime with Mr. Steve Facebook page. Mr. Steve, funny, entertaining, handsome, and above all, humble.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard cut. That's my new commercial. I'm going to try and get it on some AM radio stations.
All right.
Boom. Well, then.
Well, wait a second. Before we wrap that up, because I
Yes.
think this is a good spot. So the show was late. So,
Mhm.
and I apologize for that. But first, we kind of lost a day with the power outage.
Yeah.
Then the next day, this didn't really quite slow me down, but the next day, the Klan was rallying in a park near us
Jesus Christ.
with guns, and we were on our way before we found out that it had already ended.
Seriously, we're putting our shoes on, getting out the door.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that was Saturday, and I did start editing the show later Saturday night. But then Sunday we had our rally in support for Charlottesville.
Yeah.
There were no counter protesters there, probably because they just protested the day before. But Antifa were being royal fucking douchebags.
I'm even confused as to what Antifa is. All I know is that apparently it's the new Republican feared boogeyman.
They believe they see liberalism and conservatism are basically the same thing.
Okay, well, fuck these guys.
Well, see, but that's the problem with Antifa is not any kind of structured or organized group. So she is speaking about, because she talked to them.
Yeah, when they started gathering, I thought, well, who the fuck are these people? These kids, I should say kids, because that's what they were. They were kids. And their faces were covered. They were all dressed all in black with red bandanas over their faces or red gas masks.
They were sent from Cobra Command, basically.
Yeah. And so I walked up to him and I said, hey, I have a question. I said, who are you guys? I said, oh, wait, I don't mean like individually, because that's obvious. You don't want anybody to know who you are. But like, who are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And these were anarcho-communists.
Narco-communists?
Anarcho.
Oh, anarcho-communists.
Well, that's what you told me when you came back.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
Yeah. But anyway, they were trying to shout over anybody who was speaking,
and especially the ones who were like scheduled speakers and had a microphone, and they were talking about peacefully demonstrating and being kind and blah blah blah, and kind of like, that's my philosophy. I kind of wanted to hear this. Hello. And they started shouting over them and yelling, fuck Trump, fuck Trump, fuck Trump, which I didn't mind that so much.
Which is okay, but not as a way to shout over somebody who is speaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who had the right to speak, who was scheduled to speak, who had the microphone in their hand. If they wanted to speak, they should have registered to speak or whatever they had to do, be a scheduled speaker and be able to say their piece. But no, because these were kids. Yeah. They were basically kids and they want to like make a huge mark on the world and make a difference in the world,
Yeah.
and this is how they were going to do it.
Yeah, they almost, one of them almost got into a fist fight with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Who had actually brought the speaker system. And they had like picked some random guy in the crowd and was trying to say that person was infiltrating,
Ugh.
and trying to get the crowd to turn on this person. Like, seriously, what the fuck? All you're showing me is that when there is nobody around to fight, you'll just fight us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll just be causing a problem here. Now, again, Antifa is kind of a loose collection,
Yeah.
So I'm not blaming all Antifa, but I am definitely blaming the douchebags in the Colorado Springs area.
Yeah.
Who have no problem alienating people who would otherwise be their allies.
Yeah. And as much as
it's kind of hard to get people on board when you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
am against all of that. The only thing that I am for is shouting over people. I'm a big fan of shouting things over other people.
Just do it!
Yes, but you're really talking heckling.
I'm sorry. That was Shyla laughing.
Yes. So yeah, that was it. That was another reason, because that was pretty exhausting and demoralizing,
Yeah.
And again, Antifa is a loose collection, and I've been talking to friends in other areas who participate in rallies, and they have not had that problem with Antifa groups there.
Maybe they're paranoid with all of your legal weed.
Yeah. I know this isn't going to do any good, but I did message Antifa USA and Antifa International to report the incident.
Good.
But give me a fucking break. I got to worry about you people too.
Right.
What? Seriously, no. Fuck that.
Yes, you can!
So I'm calling them out as douchebags.
Good.
Douche waffles, Jeannie corrects me.
Yeah, douche waffles.
Yesterday.
And they were all a bunch of poopy toots too.
Damn right they were.
And then, of course, the last thing that really held me up from getting the show out, Defenders.
I
What can I say?
I didn't watch Defenders. I was too busy trying to get through the new Wet Hot American Summer. That's my Defenders right now.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
I just love that first movie so much that, God, there's so much content right now for Wet Hot American Summer. I'm really excited about it.
That's exactly what happened to me in the Dune books.
Oh, God, there's so much Dune. There's so much Dune.
I read the first Dune book, and I absolutely loved it. It was like my second favorite book after The Stand.
Yeah.
It's a really good book. Setting up that whole world, it was so intricate and beautiful and wonderful. And therefore, I read the entire, well, not anymore, but at the time, I read the entire Dune series.
Yeah.
And they all kind of sucked.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have heard that. Well then, Bunnykins, it's time once again to piss off the general population with another incendiary little installment of Steve's Unpopular Opinions.
Yes.
And this week I have a dilly of a pickle of a doozy of a whopper. I have not mentioned this out loud at all for fear of reprisal.
Yes.
Really, people would turn on me, attack me, throw telescopes at my beautiful, beautiful face in a rage, but it has to be said. It must. So here it is. The eclipse.
Yes.
Fuck the eclipse. Fuck the fucking eclipse. There was a time
that would be
when
a physically impossibility, yes.
Yeah. There was a time when I would have been excited about the eclipse, and that was called 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I am surprised at how many of my friends went eclipse crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what are you doing on Monday? Well, it's a work day, so I'm just going to work and working. Why? What are you doing? Well, I'm driving 3 states away. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
You can just do that? You can just take off work and drive 3 states away to watch the eclipse? Like, that's a thing for you? That must be nice. And despite the fact that the eclipse was scientifically predicted and came with no surprise, of course, conservative Christians saw it as a sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even in our modern day, when we know that these things are happening, well, the fact that it's happening now is obviously a sign that Trump, because everything is Trump. Everything is Trump right now.
Yeah. And they believe in witchcraft and superstition. So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you're still scared by the sun.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to tell you about that? You know, what am I? You know, what are you even supposed to say?
I got really scared when the eclipse happened, and the reason is because I went to work.
Yeah.
And I had a full day, and I worked hard, and I got deliveries, and I was moving heavy 40, 50-pound boxes, and it was a difficult day. But then oh, man, this cart is full. I better push this out and shelve it. And I would go out onto the floor, and there's just nobody in the store.
Yeah.
There's just nobody there. And, like, I know it's a Monday, but now it's a Monday afternoon, and there should be people here. We at least get a full cafe full of Paul Mitchell hair salon students. You know, vague punk-looking women in tight, all black outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And My Little Pony hair, at least at this period in time. And there was just nobody in the store. And that's when I started thinking, everywhere is like this right now. Because for a large portion of America, this is like a freaking holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'm gonna get off of work and go see the eclipse. Like, that was everybody. So many people. That was so many people.
Yeah.
So then it finally happens, and there's some applause. Some people cried.
Some people cried?
Which just blew my mind. Most people were let down. So I figure finally it's over. Finally, we're done with the eclipse. Thank God. You know, there was such people went freaking eclipse crazy, and now the eclipse is over, and I don't have to worry about it. But no, we're not done. Because I'm still going to get like 3 weeks of lame eclipse pictures every time I go on social media now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not
sorry. Fuck the eclipse.
I did start getting a bit annoyed leading up to the eclipse with all of the fucking memes to not look into the sun.
Yeah.
And then who looked into the sun?
Christ.
But so I posted a couple of things. Yeah.
And I loved, and while everybody is focusing on Donald Trump looking at the sun, nobody is noticing the fact that, like, hey, look, it's the sun. There's the eclipse. Do you see it, Melania? And she's just standing there like, do not touch me. Do not touch me.
Yeah.
I am standing here. I am taking pictures with you. Do not fucking touch me, Donald. Like, seriously, her body language is like she's a WWE tag team champion with someone who's starting to act erratic, and the person has a microphone and is talking, but in his other hand he has a steel chair.
Uh-huh.
And so Melania's like, holy shit, he's about to turn on me. That's her body language. She's just so tensed up, like at any second she's gonna start like clawing her way out of the White House.
Yeah.
She's a cat next to a bath.
I always keep expecting her to break out with "Don't cry for me, Argentina."
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you think that she should, do you think that you can do this?
Yes, you can!
Oh, okay. That's good. What should she do?
Make your dreams come true!
Okay, well, that's good. I think that's good for everybody.
Yes.
Just do it!
I love this so much. Hey, this is a good one for our podcast right here.
You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there!
Yeah, that's for us. So anyway, we still have a lot to talk about. We have notes from the bookstore, which is going to get real. We've got a really great bit of homework this week.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a really good lead up to King Kong versus Godzilla. A lot of facts about that. But before we get to any of that, before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
Well, I mean, if you say so.
Get out of here.
We should take a break.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. We should.
Get out of here.
We should take a break. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Flim after these commercial massages. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Skitty bop ba doo.
Bob is not a member of any organized political party. Bob's a Democrat. Thank you for doing that.
Wait, let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. You know, that or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Are you employed, Mr. Lebowski?
Employed?
You like sex, Mr. Lebowski?
Is this your only ID? You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude.
Your name's Lebowski.
Jeff Lebowski, the other Lebowski, the millionaire. I received this ransom note this morning.
This is the bummer, man.
They want you to take the money and act as courier.
What do you mean, man? What the hell is this?
My dirty undies, dude. The whites. Let's take that hill! Why should we settle for 20 grand when we can keep the entire million?
I know you're mixed up in all this.
Playing one side against the other in bed with everybody.
Blow on them.
Huh?
Fabulous stuff. What? Who's sitting on $1 million? We want some money. Sitting in the trunk of our car. Where's my damn money? Say, dude, where is your car?
Who's got your undies, Walter?
This is a very complicated case, Maud. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Is this your homework, Larry? And I would like my undies back.
A lot of strands to keep in my head, man.
Whoa! Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
I like your style, dude.
I have no choice but to tell these bums to do whatever is necessary to recover their money from you.
They were Nazis, dude?
They were nihilists, man. They kept saying they believed in nothing. You figured, oh, here's a loser, a deadbeat.
Well, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
You cannot drag this negative energy into the tournament.
Jeffrey.
Maud?
Love me.
That's my robe.
I'm throwing rocks tonight.
It don't matter to Jesus. This could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film. Well then, my little bunny blue. Yep. Let's talk about books. You see, people always say, hey, Steve, is it possible for you to go a single day without eating microwave popcorn? To which I say, possible, yes. Probable, no. Eleanor, stay out of there. People also say, hey, write what you know. And what I know is that I have been a loyal, if slightly muddled employee at my local bookstore for almost 17 years.
Yes.
17 years now. If my career was a person, it would just be bitching and bitching and bitching until I finally broke down and bought it a car. But it would be a first car, so have fun with that used Ford Tempo from 1994, job history. And as such, I really do have my sweaty digits on the pulse of the book world, consensually, I swear. And I am here to rub my digits, my sweaty digits against your face with this week's remarkably unremarkable installment of Notes from the Bookstore.
Yay!
Yay!
Don't think I don't know what you're doing with Notes in the Bookstore.
What am I doing?
Don't think I've caught on, buddy.
I'm
caught
getting
on.
a lot.
I know what you're doing.
What do you think I'm doing?
You are transcribing your blog to our podcast.
Maybe. Lord knows I don't use the blog anymore. I wrote a song. Do you want to hear the song?
Sure.
Okay, I'm really proud of it. It's a song for our modern day. It's a modern day work of genius. It goes like this. If you're happy and you know it, you're on pills. If you're happy and you know it, you're on pills. If you're happy and you know it, there is no way it's natural. If you're happy and you know it, you're on pills.
Yes.
So, guess what store just got an 80% on their last secret shop?
Yay!
A massive improvement from last month when they literally got the lowest score ever in the history of all secret shops. Well, it certainly wasn't the store I work at for legal reasons.
Yes.
The thing is that there's just a crap ton of stores. Don't throw your water bottle out. I know you're excited that you can reach the trash can, but that doesn't mean you get to put everything in the trash can. I'm really sick of looking through the trash to find all the things you threw away, baby. Don't throw things away.
Welcome to my
you like
world.
That water bottle. Also, watch where you're walking. That's a box. Yeah, okay. Yeah, watch where you're walking.
Okay, now picture yourself in a room with 10 of those. 10 of them.
Yeah, but it's worse when you have it. Well, it's probably not worse, but it's weirder when you've got like one and then a bunch of older ones that refuse to help you with the one. Although Amber is a big help. And I'm not just saying that because she's right next to me. I'm saying that she's a really big help.
Eleanor won't let me die.
Hell yeah, Eleanor, you're a good distraction for Eleanor. Because Eleanor sometimes is just like, oh, you're brown like my daddy. Let me cling to you. And then she just sucks herself on you like a leech. Hold me. Tell me about the before times in the long, long ago, Amber. Rock me to sleep. Hold me. Love me, Amber. It's great. It's great. Loves you. So there's a crap ton of stores out there. And somehow our store, and this is true, but also for legal reasons, this is a lie. Okay. So our store is somehow in the top 30 of the entire nation for year to date best sales compared to last year.
Nice.
Yeah, we get like it's an amazing thing for any store, because like when you think of it, because it's like so far this year, this fiscal year, we are so far ahead of where we were last year. And when you think of stores like that, you automatically go, okay, California, New York, I don't know, Washington State, big places like that. So the fact that any store in our tiny little nowhere district is in the top 30, let alone our tiny little store, that's kind of, we get our picture in a newsletter and junk. Yeah. It's like an interview. Apparently it's a really big deal, but I am the only person who sees this as a negative. I'm the only person who sees this as a negative. The way I see this is not, wow, look how good we're doing this year. I see it as, wow, look how much we sucked last year.
Yes.
We really sucked last year. Like, were we even trying? Not that any of that is real, of course. It's entirely fictional. I don't want to get in trouble. Also, apparently, good numbers equates to, what did you get on that last secret shop? It doesn't matter. Congratulations on the good numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, wait a second. We really should be in more trouble for this. This is bad. We got a ridiculously small score. We should not, you need to punish us more. Yeah, but your numbers are great, so it doesn't matter, basically. So it's like, really? It doesn't matter? Damn, we should just be slapping customers then. Yeah. You should just be like, do you have this book? No! And then just like Batman slapping Robin. Like, hi, I'm looking for this book. My parents are dead! Slap!
Well, it sounds like you should shove books into every customer's hands as they come in and demand they buy it.
Yeah, we're supposed to put the book in the customer's hand, not just take them to the book, but then grab the book and then hand it to the customer. So what I'm thinking is,
no, I mean, you grab any old book.
I know, but my idea is, yeah, I'm looking for this book. Yeah, we have it over here. Let me show you. Here it is. And, oh, look whose hand it's in. Mine. Like, I'm going to try and get tips for people just so I can hand them. Eleanor, get down from there. Somebody get Eleanor. She's realizing that if she gets on the couch and then climbs onto the top of the couch and then gets onto the arm of the couch, she can turn all of the lights on and off.
Ah.
But she's so freaking small that basically she's doing a ladder match. But yeah, all of this story has been fictional. I don't want to get into any trouble. And speaking of troubling fiction, Stephen King, the Stephen King of Stephen Kings.
Yes.
Stephen King is having himself an impressive little King Naissance as of late.
Okay.
The Dark Tower came out. Is it good? Is it bad? It doesn't matter. Somehow someone made it.
Yeah.
In and of itself, this is an astonishing feat. I've been hearing about the Dark Tower being something. God, for freaking decades. Oh, it's going to be a miniseries. Oh, it's going to be a made-for-TV movie. Oh, it's going to be a TV show now. Oh, it's going to be a movie. Oh, no, it's back to a miniseries. Oh, no, it's a movie now.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was made, it's like, okay, the fact that it exists kind of cancels out whether or not it's any good, in my mind at least. So the Dark Tower movie came out. It is somehow poised to be a big hit, which of course is blasphemous. Why? Because of 3 words: Tim freaking Curry. God damn it! I hated that miniseries, but Tim Curry. Tim Curry.
Yeah, and that's like my first turn off to this movie. I hope it's good. I do hope it's good, but I hate the clown makeup.
Yeah. It's
Tim Curry did not look like an evil clown.
Yeah.
He was a very traditional looking clown. Tim Curry brought the fucking evil.
Yeah.
That was all
exactly.
him. So like making the clown look all evil. And I have a theory. Because I just reread it on an audiobook.
You re-listened.
Yeah.
Not really reread. You re-listened. But what's your theory?
Because they mention Pennywise as having been a clown that was around in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pennywise, as whoever Pennywise actually was, gets mentioned in the book, but like only in passing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the kids would see things and get attacked by Pennywise and things like that. I believe that that's basically mostly based on their imagination. You know, that they don't see it affecting adults in the same way.
Yeah.
I theorize that Pennywise, being a clown, also had a very good imagination. A creative kind of person, something like that. So I think that Pennywise was what the kids were back in the 20s. Okay? He was the adversary of it because he was able to see it. And then if you were it, wouldn't you want to dress in the skin of your last opponent?
True.
So that's my little it theory.
And that's a good it theory.
Yes.
Bella. Here. If you're bringing her over there, take this with you. But it's not just the Dark Tower and it that is leading this King Naissance. I didn't realize this. Stephen King's novel Gerald's Game is being turned into either a movie or a series that is premiering next month on Netflix.
How do you get a series out of it?
I don't know. I think it's a movie. I think it's a movie, but I'm not 100%. And his Mr. Mercedes series of recent cop procedural / serial killer / horror / supernatural thriller / no one reads these seriously, so it doesn't really matter anyway books.
Yeah, I tried reading, I tried listening to the first one. I didn't know what it was even about. You know, I was just like, okay, that's his latest. Let me grab it. I also did 11/26 or 28, the Kennedy one.
Yeah.
That was good.
One. I love that one.
That was a really good book. And then once I found out, I was like, okay, great. First, it's going to be another fucking Stephen King book about how he got hit by a car. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about it. And then when I found out what it actually was, I was even less interested. I don't want to read a Stephen King detective procedural.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. But yeah, Mr. Mercedes is being turned into a TV series for AT&T's new streaming service because soon literally everything will have its own original content.
Yeah.
Be sure and check out McDonald's new sitcom, The Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho,
we're coming close to Videodrome.
Yeah, pretty much. So Stephen King is having a bit of a moment right now, a moment in a lifetime of moments. Anyway, now all these teeny boppers are buying Stephen King's It, and it's like, I'm sorry, but bitch, you ain't reading that. Seriously, there's no way you're reading this. Stephen King's It is like War and Peace had sex with another War and Peace and gave birth to War and Peace triplets. There's no way your skinny jeans wearing little 14-year-old self is reading It. And besides, the ending is a fucking cop-out.
Oh, God, ever.
And I don't care. I don't care. Because that's how horrible the ending is to It. That I don't care. That I just cussed.
That's like Stephen King's Achilles heel, though, man. He does not know how to end a fucking story. And the end of a Stephen King book is always a letdown.
Yeah, always. So, okay, so let's get real. I do story time.
Yes.
I have done story time on and off for about 13 and a half years. Um, people, kids get different things out of story time sometimes. A lot of kids sit down and they listen. I'm very interactive and hyperactive with the kids, and I talk to the kids, and I want the kids to talk with me, and it's very interactive and stuff. Um, it's difficult to train the parents for story time. It's not. It's not. I don't pay too much attention to the kids. They get it.
Yeah.
It's the adults that have to learn. Okay, Mr. Steve wants these kids to interrupt me. Mr. Steve wants these kids to have an opinion and yell and attack me. That is a part of the story time because it's a different sort of story time. But sometimes kids just get different things out of story time in the sense that there's one kid that comes to story time, and this one kid is just, oh, story time. That's the place. That's the time I get to go into a store and scream as loud as I can.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, it's obvious. And that kid doesn't come all the time, but when the kid comes, he's just screaming and screaming all the time about everything. And just, no! And it's like, okay, apparently this kid gets screaming out of it. Understood. Yeah. I'll try and remember that for next time. And then there are just a couple of kids. There are two kids that come to story time. And these two kids, they do everything that I want them to do, but just more. Like, I'm going to yell more. I'm going to attack Mr. Steve more. I'm going to throw things at him. Whatever he tells me. Mwah, good night, Maxwell. I love you. Whatever he tells me not to do, I'm going to do it all the time. I'm going to just freak out. Like, really, like, this kid just spreads anarchy. And most adults, some adults pay attention. They should. I do. I reference The Godfather a lot at story time. I make a lot of references to The Godfather, Rick and Morty, things that the kids will just never get. And there are some adults, a lot of adults, they'll sit down and they might be on their phones, but a lot of times the parents are laughing more than the kids are laughing. But then there are some adults that are just like, okay, sit down, you have fun at story time. I'm gonna go get a coffee.
Yeah.
And suddenly, like, I'm babysitting your kids. So, so it's difficult. A lot of times they just literally drop off their kids, and I'm supposed to just, like, how am I supposed to parent your children? It's confusing. So anyway, last week's story time sucked, and these two kids, a brother and sister, they came in and literally they were just, I could barely read a page of a book without these kids interrupting me, and literally they were constantly coming onto the stage, and then I would tell them to get off the stage, so then they'd sit on the stage, and I'd tell them to stop sitting on the stage, but they'd stay. Now, oh, Steve's turning this into a funny bit, and then the thing is that one kid does it, and all the other kids start doing it, so now all the other kids are like, I'm also gonna hit Steve and yell and throw things and sit literally inches away from his face. And a good story time can just make my week just glide.
Yeah.
I have a good story time and a bunch of people are there and everybody's laughing, and then it brings a spring in my step and I work a little bit harder for the rest of the day, and then I come home and I'm all happy and hey kids, and but if I get a bad story time, it just pisses me off for the entire freaking week, and I've just been in not a good mood. And these two kids, they're being rude, and then remembering some adults just don't pay attention, and so story time just got the best of me. It wasn't my best story time.
Yeah.
And a parent complained.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, one parent is just, I went to your story time, and the storyteller has gotten these kids all worked up, and the kids are being rude, and they're yelling at them, and they're not listening, and now my child thinks that she can do that, and so she's yelling and being rude, and I am having a horrible time at this story time, and I am never going to be coming back to your story time. And it's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Here, let me give you your money back. Oh, wait, it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Thank wood that I have managers that support me, and that they went yelling to the managers, and the manager's like, you need to get another storyteller, and the manager is literally like, okay, well, our storyteller has been doing story time in 3 states for over 13 years, and he's one of the best storytellers that are out there. I am sorry that you had a bad time, but he really is the best storyteller out there, and thank wood that my managers actually supported me like that, because there have been other managers that would have literally like put me through a wooden spike cannibal Holocaust style for that.
Yeah.
If I was in California and someone complained like that to Perry or Greg, I would have been beheaded. Guillotined.
Yes.
Jesus.
I wish he was joking.
Yeah.
Well, again, he's transposing his blog over, so I remember those stories.
Yeah. And Greg had a habit of not letting people. In retrospect, thinking about this seems ridiculous, and no other manager that I've ever had to deal with has ever done this. But he did. Greg in California had a habit of not letting people call in sick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he'd be like, hey, Greg, this is Steve. I'm going to have to call in sick. Oh, really? You're calling in sick? Why? What's wrong with you? Have you thrown up? What's wrong? Oh, I'm really dizzy, and I've just been really sick. And it's like, oh, so you're calling in sick for your 9 to 5:30 shift? How about you come in at 11?
Yeah.
How about you come in at 11? You come in for maybe not a full 8 hours. Maybe you just come in for 6 hours. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to the hospital? Is it that bad? How about you come in a little bit later? And he would literally be like, I called in sick, so now I'm coming in 2 hours. I don't know how he did this.
Yeah, no, he would like to ask questions that he's legally not even allowed to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet somehow get people to come in.
Yeah.
Because we felt some sick, fucked up sense of like loyalty to our company, I guess.
I don't know.
To our other employees.
Yeah. So yeah, surprise, surprise, that manager is now a cop.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's now a policeman.
No.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, not surprising to me at all.
Yeah. Well, then, Bunny.
Yeah.
Bunny. My widow Bunny Bunny.
Yeah.
It's the end of August. It's still back to school time. There's still a lot of back to school stuff and highlighters and 3-ring binders. But do not let your freaking guard down, Bunny. Not even for a second. Okay? Because after August is September, fall, scented candles, umbrellas, coats. After September is October, Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then Black Friday, and then goddamn Christmas. Ah, it's right behind us!
Yes.
Freaking pumpkin spice lattes are breathing down your neck right now, and you don't even know it.
Yes.
In fact, my work...
And October is coming up, which reminds me I need to pick 4 movies.
Yeah.
Because that is my birthday month.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'll have to dwell on that.
Yeah. No, go for it. My workload goes into hyperdrive from October until about February, and it's already starting.
Yes.
And it's so upsetting. And it's like, hey, Steve, it's not the holidays yet. It's still October. Anyway, here's 12 copies of the Chronicles of Narnia box set. Have fun with these.
Yeah.
And I'm just there, just like grumble. God damn it. It's not the holidays yet. We know, but still. Just got to be prepared and all that. Did you get our 11 boxes of Harry Potter books? Yes, I got the 11 boxes of Harry Potter books that I have no room for. Thanks for that. What about the 35 boxes full of calendars? Yes, I got those too. Okay. Have fun with all that. Bye, Steve.
Are you just going to store it until the season comes around?
We're doing what we can. We are doing what we can with it. And finally this week, I want to get real again because I need to talk about my other half.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about my wife.
Okay.
I'm talking about Farm Boy Veteran.
Farm Boy Veteran.
He is the very young, happily married, active duty soldier who originally was our store's sole receiving manager.
Yes.
Incredibly Christian. Proudly Christian. In your face Christian. Then he was called to duty, and I was originally put into receiving temporarily at first.
Yes.
And then we got a call from Uncle Sam saying that Farm Boy Veteran would be gone for 7 months, and then he'd be back for about 4 months, maybe 5, and then he was being sent to classified for 12 to 14 months.
Okay.
So the store decided, well, I guess we have to hire another receiving manager, and they immediately went looking for another receiving manager. They immediately went looking everywhere but the general vicinity of Steve. A little bit bitter about that, but so eventually I impressed some suits and I was hired, and Farm Boy Veteran did come back, and we worked for about 5 months, 4 or 5 months or so. It was a bit awkward because it was the two of us in this room. Mm-hmm. And then, boom, he was gone again. And this time, gone well over a year. And it's weird because he was gone for October, November, December, January, February, and then coming back in March. And it's like, oh, great. So you're missing the holiday and the other holiday and Black Friday and Christmas. And then immediately after Christmas, when everyone comes in with a $50 gift card.
Yeah.
And then once that dies down, inventory. So you're missing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm bitter or anything.
No.
So then he comes back for like 4 or 5 months, and then it's like, oh yeah, now I'm leaving for a year. So have fun once again being alone by yourself for the holiday and the other holiday and Black Friday and Christmas, and immediately after Christmas, and everyone comes in with a $50 gift card and inventory. Have fun with that again.
Yeah.
And so now I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that I have now been in charge of receiving for longer than he had the post when I took over for him.
Yes.
And yet I'm still under his shadow. And I still feel under his shadow, and still feel the guy's so freaking nice.
Yeah.
And earnest and innocent and pure. He was raised in a small farm in rural Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He was raised Christian. He's never missed church. He's never drank coffee. He's never swore. He's never drank alcohol. He's 6'3", blonde-haired, blue-eyed, innocent young white boy who once said the sentence that I love, and not in an ironic way, in an honest, literal way. He said the sentence, you know what, Steve, I don't understand why all of these people drink all of these coffees and lattes and energy drinks when they can get the same feeling by just waking up and doing some jumping jacks. And there's a part of me that felt like I just got to hold a newborn kitten.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, I just heard something unironic. You honestly mean that? God bless you, young man. Oh my God, never watch South Park. Never get on the internet. You need to stay this pure. Stay gold, pony boy. Like you can't hate this man.
Yeah.
It's possible to hate him. Like he has a habit of it's time for my break. Now, I don't want to go all the way to the break room because that's away from my post here in the receiving area. So I'm just going to sit here on the floor in receiving and quietly read the Bible to myself for 15 minutes.
Oh.
And the guy's
that's
just
kicking position, though.
You can't hate this man. You can't hate this man. And just to be clear, I am not saying that one or two of our older managers seem suspiciously more enthusiastic to deal with the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white-skinned farm boy veteran than they are in dealing with the long-haired, erratic, sensitive minority, the only minority in the entire store. No, Bunny, I don't even know where you got that idea from. Damn, put words in my mouth much, Bunny? God. It doesn't matter because this is all fake anyway.
Yeah.
Legal reasons. Anyway, Veteran is coming back next month.
Okay.
And that should be question mark.
Yeah.
Because he's coming. And it's weird because it's like, where has he been? I don't know. It's classified.
Yeah.
Like the last time, like I knew exactly where he was. He was in West Virginia.
Yeah.
He was on a base. It was boring. But this time it was in classified. And I'm like, ooh, classified. Okay. So he was gone for so long that eventually I would message him because you know we're friends on Facebook and all that, and I'm like, oh snap, hey farm boy veteran, so our store manager quit, and now we have a new one, and her name is this, and she's really nice.
Okay.
I get a message like 2 days later. Oh wow, thank you for letting me know, Steve. That is so nice of you.
While he wears a necklace of ears.
So then I'm like,
Smiley
oh, so
emoji.
So he's coming back. So that's interesting. And then the crazy thing is that I was watching the news, and there was, typical Oklahoma news. Tomorrow's going to be sunny with a high of 98. With massive clouds and torrential floods. Like typical Oklahoma weather.
Yeah.
And finally in the news tonight, a bit of happy news. Hundreds of loved ones were reunited with their family members who were off serving a grisly tour in Afghanistan. And sure enough, he's right there in his fatigues, hugging his wife.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, damn, I think you were in the shit. Before, you were just guarding a base in Virginia. I think you were just sent to the quagmire.
Yeah.
It's like, well, hot damn. I'll make sure not to make loud noises.
Yes.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming back. I'm proud of myself because of how well we get along.
Yeah.
Because Farm Boy Veteran and I, we do get along. We worked right next to each other for a long period in time, and it got to the point where it's like, you and I are in no way alike, and there's got to be some common ground. Mm-hmm. And then finally, like, he's listening to his music, which is mostly Christian rap.
Yeah. Oh.
And yeah. And classical music, and then one day some album comes on, and I'm like, wait a second, is this Punk Goes Pop Volume 5? Oh my god, I own this album. Hey, we have the same album. There's a connection. And so we're completely, we have nothing in common, but we love a good cover song. Both of us, we love a good cover song, like a really good one that takes the song in a different direction. We're big cover song fans, so proud of that.
Yeah.
And then I saw another chance for us to connect when he was listening over and over again to the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, this is an opening because I love that movie. So, okay, this will be my opening. Hey, so you listening to the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack? I have that album too. It's great. And he goes, yes. And I hope to one day see the movie, possibly. And it's like, okay, I'm tapping out of this because you can't own a soundtrack without having seen the movie. That's basically blasphemy.
No, especially going from Christian rap to anything in the vicinity of David Bowie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 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 Bit weird.
I would think his head would explode.
Yeah. But the thing that's great is that when you look at Farm Boy Veteran and you look at me and you say, okay, which one of these two people has gotten in trouble for listening to explicit things in receiving?
Yeah.
Everyone's finger would be pointed at me.
Yes.
But it wasn't me, and I'll tell you why. Farm Boy Veteran had the bizarre habit of listening to audiobooks while he was at work. And he said, well, I guess I'm going to try and figure out what all of this Game of Thrones nonsense is about. And yeah, like the store manager comes in and then Chapter 17, more raping. And it's like, wait, you got in trouble for listening to explicit stuff and receiving? Oh my God, it's a miracle. The Lord works in mysterious ways. That's amazing. Yeah, so I was telling the store manager's like, so tell me about Josh. I haven't even, tell me about Farm Boy Veteran. I haven't even met him. Tell me about Christoph. Tell me about Ezekiel.
Yeah.
It's a name from the Bible. So how about this? Tell me about Oprah.
Yes.
Because apparently that's a story from the Bible. Seriously, Eleanor, you look so tired. You look drunk. That's how tired you look. Just tap out and just go to sleep, okay? Just tap out. So tell me about Farm Boy Veteran. I don't even know about him. And I'm like, well, he doesn't drink. He doesn't, drink caffeine. He's a real straight shooter. He's a real honest guy. It's impossible to hate him. He doesn't cuss. And then suddenly, like she wasn't really paying attention to me, but once I got to he doesn't cuss, suddenly my store manager is like, wait, he doesn't cuss? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. I need to check my fucking language now. Oh my God. What if I just get it all out now? And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure language doesn't work like that, but whatever floats your boat.
But it would be fun to watch your manager stand there and curse for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I think he's still got more in there. Come on.
Yeah. So he came back, but then he gets vacation time.
Yeah.
Because he was, at war. So he's spending like 2 or 3 weeks in New Zealand visiting locations where they filmed The Lord of the Rings. And
okay, so he does have fairly normal interests outside of the Bible.
Yeah, I guess.
He is tolerant of other things, especially listening to the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. And don't they think the Lord of the Rings is evil too?
But not the movie. He hasn't seen the movie.
Uh-huh.
He hasn't seen the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. That might be too much for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there are certain songs that I have to remove from my work appropriate music playlist.
Yeah. Oh, for his homecoming?
Yeah, for his homecoming.
Uh-huh.
There's a song from Mariachi El Bronx I discovered them through Lucha Underground because they're a mariachi band, but they sing mariachi sounding songs, but in English. And the first time I heard them, it was like my mind was playing a trick on me. I wasn't expecting to hear English. You know?
Like that time Genie understood Japanese.
Yeah.
Seriously. Oh my god.
Yeah. So they have one song, and it's Silver or Lead. Silver or lead. You have to choose silver or lead. Now we'll take your money because Jesus is dead.
Yeah.
You chose wrong. You chose silver. I chose lead. Now give me your money because Jesus is dead. I'll have to get that one out. And Saul Williams has a song called List of Demands, which is literally about him trying to kill God.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to get that one out. Oh, yeah, and the song Dear God. I'll have to get rid of that as well.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
Any others?
Dear God, I hope you got the letter, and I pray you can make it better down here. And I'm not interested in you lowering the price of beef. But all the people on Earth, they're starving in the streets because they don't get enough to eat from God. But wait a second, I want to back that up because it would help me if you did lower the price of beef.
Yeah.
That's just my thing. I got to get rid of that. I got to get rid of that song too. I leave the Crash Test Dummy song because that's the best anti-God song that's ever been written, because the song is so iconic and such a part of like the early 90s that people don't even notice that it's an anti-religious song. It's the best it's the best secretly atheist song ever written.
I'm trying to place the song Crash Test Dummies. I remember their name.
The lead singer was a bass.
Okay.
So he had this ridiculously deep voice. So the song starts off like, once there was this boy who...
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a song, and the first verse is all about this boy who
didn't go to school.
He got into a car accident and his hair got white, and hey, he didn't understand why his hair did that. His hair just did that after the accident. And then there's the chorus. And then the second verse is all about this girl who would never shower after gym. And one day they forced her to. And when she got naked, she had all these dots and blotches all over her body. And she's like, hey, everybody made fun of her. But she's like, hey, this is just the way that my skin has always been. But those kids had it easy, because check out this third kid. This kid, after school, had to go to church. And he would move around and shake his hands and say silly stuff. He never understood why. Hey, don't make fun of him. His parents just always forced him to.
Yeah.
And that song was a #1 song on American hit music charts. So that one I'm leaving in.
Okay.
Because people don't pay attention to that one. But yeah, I'm going to have to purge my music. Anyway, that is it for Notes from the Bookstore this week. And remember, boys and girls and gender potpourris, you too can save 10% on all of your purchases. And all you have to do is stop asking me, do you work here? Yes, I do. I'm wearing a tie. I have a name tag, and I'm holding a stack of books. I know you're confused because I'm a brownie, but they do hire brown people at bookstores. Hi, I'm looking for a book. Do you work here? Are you an employee here? It's like, yes. Do you see the name tag and the fact that I walked up to you and said, can I help you with anything? Those are clues that I work here. God damn. Anyway, cut. So much of that was ad-lib. Was ad-lib. that whole notes from the bookstore is filled with squiggly arrows, which is my symbol for ad lib. Well then, my little whittle fluffy bunny wunny, it is homework time once again on the Pope on Film podcast.
Yes.
People of the internet, your attention, please. Stop fidgeting your spinners and kindly pay attention.
Yes.
That also works on two levels, both literal fidget spinners and also an analogy for jacking off to internet porn. Each week, the Pope on Film podcast assigns homework in the hopes of bettering its listeners, nay, the galaxy. Give me some dramatic music, Bunny.
Dun 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 dun.
That's good. And this week, kids, we are doing something a little bit different, okay? Now, girls, kindly pay attention, okay? Okay. Now, will all the boys in class please stand up? You will be following Coach Adams into the gym while the girls stay here. Now, boys, stop your giggling. This is serious, okay? Now, we have something very special for you today, okay, kids? We will be watching these special videos created by the Inglewood Police Department to warn you young people like you, about the evil and sinister and some third thing, the evil plans of, pause for dramatic effect, gay people.
Yes.
Da da da. Yes, this week it's two 1961 educational videos, educational with finger quotes, Boys Beware, and the equally important feminine companion, Girls Beware.
Yes.
Bella is pretty looking at me from across the room with a judgmental face. Bella, you need to watch this video. It's from 1961 and it's called Girls Beware. And hey, if you ever let an older boy talk to you, you will immediately get pregnant and die.
Yes.
That is what I learned 2 days ago. Also, if you ever see a guy with a bow tie and a mustache, he will try and kill you.
Mm-hmm. They are both on the YouTube in the homework section. But you can also watch the Bob version of either one of these.
Yay! I knew you did Boys Beware, but I'm not sure if you did Girls Beware.
Almost positive.
Okay. I was talking to Amber about these videos, and Amber had a question for you.
Yes.
Did you ever have to see any of these?
No.
Like in school?
No, I don't ever remember being separated and shown any film in like gym or anything like that.
All right. I remember being shown a lot of educational videos. I don't remember ever seeing this specific one, but I watched a crap ton. I had a 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Buckner.
Mrs. Buckner.
And she was so old. She was like, I think in her early 70s, I believe, when she was a teacher.
Yeah.
And she would always, get the old, like, 8mm out and pull down the projector and show these incredibly old videos, these old educational videos, like Mystery Science Theater short level freaking educational videos.
Yeah.
Also, I'm upset that an entire season of Mystery Science Theater came and went without a single short. I figured they had to do one short, but they didn't do a short.
Yeah.
With this new season, I'm a bit upset about that. Anyway.
That just reminds me, though, in 7th grade social studies was supposed to be all about New York. You learned everything about New York in 7th grade because I was in New York. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably different in other areas. And
Yeah.
then 8th grade, I forget what it was actually called, but they showed a fuckload of movies and like good movies, you know?
Like what?
Um, anything possibly related. So we had seen The Candidate with Robert Redford, The Ugly American with Marlon Brando,
Huh.
and a lot of other movies like that. Okay.
Interesting.
So my 7th grade teacher was not really into teaching. He was old and can like get away with it, you know?
Yeah.
So we would have to draw like a map of New York, and then he would take us over into the next room and we'd watch the movie with the 8th grade.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so I had 2 good school years when it came to social studies.
Yeah. Well, Mrs. Buckner would constantly, like every day, she would show at least one educational video. Most times she would show 2 or maybe 3 educational videos. Sometimes she would line them up back to back to back. And what we all learned in her class was that she was so old that she would sometimes take these little naps in the back of the room on her comfy couch
Yeah.
while she played us the educational video. And so what we all sort of agreed to without ever actually discussing it was, when the movie is over, if she's still sleeping, let's see how long we can keep this up.
Yes.
So we would literally, the movie would be over and everybody would in class would just be, shh, 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 shh. Miss Buckner's still sleeping. Let's see how long we can keep her asleep. And we would just do whatever we wanted in silence and see how long we could get away with it. One time we went almost 45 minutes.
Nice.
Past the educational video with her still sleeping in the back. So, boys beware and girls beware. The story behind these is kind of interesting. So, backstory: Sid Davis, such a white name.
Yes.
Sid Davis. You hear the name Sid Davis, you can already picture this guy. Sid Davis was born.
How you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Sid Davis here.
Yeah. At one point in time, he sold encyclopedias, without a doubt.
Yes.
Sid Davis, at one point in time, sold encyclopedias. So he was born in 1916 in Chicago. Interesting fact, back in 1916, Chicago was actually not a frightening hellhole. So, interesting. Back then, it was like, Chicago, city on the go.
Yeah.
So Sid Davis grew up and he hopped randomly through Hollywood, a very small part here, an extra here. The main bit of his life came when he started to be a stand-in. Apparently he was really tall and burly, and so he became a stand-in. And if you want to know how serious of a stand-in he was, get this.
All right.
He was a stand-in for the Leif Erikson. Holy shit. The Leif Erikson, guys. Yes. The Leif Erikson. He was also a stand-in for John Wayne, but nobody gives a shit about that. So, Bella, you need to do dishes. So, in 1949, a 6-year-old girl was raped and killed, and it made front page news all over America. And Sid Davis was really like hurt by this. And the thing that got him was, how come this 6-year-old didn't properly learn about the dangers of talking to strangers?
Yeah.
Gee, someone should do something about that. Like maybe, I don't know, make an educational video.
Mm-hmm.
So John Wayne in his John Wayne voice is like, I'm John Wayne and I hate the coloreds. I'm assuming that's what he said.
Yeah.
I'm John Wayne. I hate black people, Pilgrim. So he gives Sid Davis
An American institution.
Yeah, he's a hero. So he gives a generous amount of money to Mr.
Sid Davis.
Yeah, to Mr. Sid Davis. It was $1,000, but back then it was basically like $10,000.
Yeah.
So with a generous donation from Mr. Frickin' John Wayne, Sid Davis makes his first educational film, which was called Dangerous Stranger.
Ooh.
The crazy thing is, this man made so many educational videos. He doesn't know how many he made. He lost count.
Oh, my God.
He made well over 150, possibly as much as 200. Some people say more than 200. Boring ass and occasionally incendiary, quote unquote, educational films. He was known. Sid Davis was known. What do you want, Eleanor? What do you want? What do you want? I don't know what you are grabbing for. Do you want this? Here you go. Have fun with that. Get Bella to turn it on. Get Bella to turn it on. Show it to Bella. Show it to Bella. There you go. Oh my God, that worked. So Sid Davis was known for tackling the topics that other educational film companies wouldn't touch, like, yes. I don't know, Davis Films or Britannica, whatever that one is, or Royal Crown, like Regent Films, whatever. So there's like 3 famous educational films: Posture Perfect, Stealing is Bad, and The Dangers of Date Rape. One of those was made by Sid Davis. If you follow me there.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it's surprising that he made so many educational films, and only one of them was touched by any one of the guys. But out of all of the movies that he made, only one of his films, The ABCs of Walking Wisely, was covered with riff tracks. So riff tracks did one. Riff tracks did one Sid Davis movie.
So these are pedigreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sid Davis, he died, and this blew my mind too, because he was born in 1916. Dude died in 2006.
Wow.
This guy, he freaking lived.
Yeah.
So he lived a long life. So anyway, in 1961, Sid Davis teams up with the Inglewood School District and the Inglewood Police Department to scare people away from homosexuality, literally, with Boys Beware and the so-called companion. Oh, is that what you want? You want the chips? Okay, well, back up, Eleanor. You're in my... Eleanor, come over here. Come over here. You're in my booth. Okay. Now I can get back in the booth. If you want a chip, there you go. Here, there are chips. Have fun with those chips. So, the companion Girls Beware isn't about lesbianism. It's more about how basically all women are weak and easily attackable.
Yes.
It sucks, and it's not as exciting as Boys Beware, and that sucks. I would have loved to have seen. I was hoping that Girls Beware would basically be kind of like the same thing, but for girls, like, girls, beware of the dangers of the American dyke. That's what I was hoping for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm thinking. An all-girls reboot of Boys Beware, Ghostbusters style.
Nice.
You can tell the lesbian by the Birkenstocks and Rachel Maddow haircuts. Little Susie didn't notice the telltale signs. The lack of shaving. The Annie DeFranco music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm working on a big budget reboot.
I think that's a great idea. I think that would be a massive hit.
What time is it?
It'll need some up tunes.
Yeah. Eleanor, you want some more? Here. Take these. But, okay, go over there. There you go. Okay. Boys beware, the meteor of the two. I learned a lot from this video. First off, if you ever decide to hitchhike, boom, you're gay rape bait now.
That's right.
You immediately become rape bait.
Right off the bat.
Because gay men all have mustaches and bow ties and cruise parks for little boys.
And wear sunglasses.
Bitch, please. This video doesn't even mention Grindr or Craigslist at all. This video was literally shown in schools to scare boys away from homosexuality, which they repeatedly call a sickness.
Yes. And they were not even discussing homosexuality. They were discussing pedophilia.
Yeah.
There's a big freaking difference.
Yeah, excuse me, that's not a homosexual problem. That's a Bible problem.
Yeah.
That's a Catholicism issue there.
Well, the Bible does not forbid it.
It's also a Mormonism problem if my Pornhub feed is to be believed. Because the Mormon porn that we covered in a previous homework, they do both straight and gay videos, both in a female side and in a male side. Apparently, there's a lot of touchy-feely Mormon elders out there. Yeah. Mormon elders are like the pizza delivery or plumber guys in the Mormon porn world.
Go figure.
Yeah. So the video, Boys Beware, has different stories. The first one is the generous old sugar daddy gay.
Yeah.
I need to get me one of those.
Who was one of the stars of our show? Him and that kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the guy was put in jail and the kid was put in the custody of his parents because the kid who was raped is to blame as well.
Yes, he was given probation.
Yeah.
Probation. Yeah. Your whole movie, your whole educational movie is about how this kid was seduced and raped by a pedophile. And you give him probation?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
God.
Yeah. But hey, at least he got to go to the park and stuff, so that's nice.
Yes. Yes.
At least he was shown a good day, you know?
And Girls Beware had that very same sick ending. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she should have known better. And here are the reasons why she should have known better. But no, she went out on a date with an older man and got raped.
Yeah.
So she had to go basically to a re-education camp or some shit.
Yeah. Aw, thank you for the hug, Eleanor, but I know that this is some sort of a trap. What do you want? I've been working very hard over the past 6 months to get Eleanor to start saying lucha.
Yeah.
And I've been trying over and over again, lucha, lucha, lucha. Now she started saying, like, what does she say? She says, like, bucha, 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 and putting her hand up, chanting like she's a believer in the temple.
Yeah.
But then Natasha keeps shaming me. She keeps lucha shaming me because she's like, oh, great, you got her to say lucha, but not emerald. Which she can't say because it's complicated. I just learned how to say emerald like 5 weeks ago.
But what if you said it the same way?
That's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to say emerald, emerald, emerald. But still,
Wait. But you specifically only do it when Emerald walks in the room.
Well, see, no, that wouldn't work because she always stays in her room.
Well, she could be in her room too, as long as you all crowd around her door.
Okay, that's a possibility.
Okay,
yeah,
because you can please your wife by teaching the baby the name of your eldest and annoy the living fuck out of your eldest.
Okay, now you're talking crazy because I know that there's no pleasing a wife. Now we're just talking sci-fi, fantasy, mumbo-jumbo nonsense. Just to be clear. So the second is the violent gay, riding in the shadows of death.
Yeah.
Gays kill kids. Interesting fact, the narrator of this film.
The narrator was pretty awesome. So was the musical score.
No, excuse me. We need to back up here and focus on this some more. The narrator is Timothy Farrell.
Okay.
The same guy who narrated Jailbait and Glenn or Glenda.
Oh, nice.
So there's a great Ed Wood connection here. It's the same dude. It's the same boring voiced dude. Seriously, Bella, she had your ring. You're easily chokeable on ring. You need to be more careful with your stuff. This baby is trying to destroy everything we love. You gotta be aware of that.
That
Whatever
means you
like, go away from the baby.
That means you have to go get King Kong to fight her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. So then there's the boy who tries to take a shortcut under a pier and almost gets killed.
Yes.
By an apparent horror movie gay.
Mm-hmm.
I think the third gay is basically like the Jason of gays.
The Jason of gays, yes.
Yeah, just waiting for some young boy to mess up, and then there he is, coming from the woods.
Well, that's it. You know, if your friend from the bookstore suddenly realized he liked cock, that would most likely fry his brain. He would have to start killing people.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
And that was the depiction of gays that we had in your more serious television shows.
Yeah.
You know? And it would be frightening.
Thank you, Eleanor. The thing that I liked about the film is that, wow, no expense was spared for this film. Man, this is such an expensive film. Oh, look, the gay rapist seems to be driving the same make and model of car as the detective in the beginning of the film. I'm sure that was a conscious decision by the director to showcase the duality of man and not something they had to do because they had no money.
Well, it was also symbolic of showing that you really can't trust anybody. Homosexuals are among us.
Yeah.
And even if you are a detective in the police force,
Inglewood.
You cannot assume that he's not one of them.
Yeah.
Therefore giving you that imagery connection between the detective and the pedophile rapist.
Yeah. So girls beware. Not as inflammatory and therefore not as fun. I have a lot less stuff about this one.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're not a pure flower, you'll get pregnant, then get an STD, then you'll get gang raped, and then you'll be killed.
Yes.
Basically, everything your grandmother warned you about happens here. Susie was happily talking to the two older boys. 5 minutes later, they were Chinese finger trapping her in the alley behind the Tasty Freeze. And essentially, that's the entire movie. It comes down to immorality. The Christianity nature of it is implied, but basically, you need to be pure, otherwise, you'll die. And that's being a woman in the 60s.
Yes. I did rather appreciate the line of, how did it start, though? I appreciated the line that there are many older gentlemen like him who are unable to compete within their own age group.
Yeah. Yeah. I worked with a manager like that in California.
Sick burn.
Yeah. Anyway, I believe that is it for homework this week. Do you have anything more? I think we've covered this well.
Well, little Susie or whoever she was, right? It was all her fault because she should have known that this guy was a rapist. That was basically the whole point of this film.
Yeah.
So shame on you, little Susie. And she had to go to some kind of, she had to go away to counseling or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, all her fault. All her fault.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Re-education camp.
When they say make America great, this is part of what they're fucking talking about. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
Oh man. So yes, I think that's it. That's more than enough.
Anyway, that is it for homework this week. And I honestly and sincerely hope that your hearts, minds, and tiny paper cuts have all been suitably opened. And for next week, we are going to be watching a Netflix original series. Hey, that sounds fun.
Okay.
This won't be painful at all. It's Netflix. There's nothing bad about Netflix. It's Netflix.
Okay.
This is going to be fun. Anyway, Bunny, I'm sorry about this. I'm not. Okay, hold on a second. Put this on pause, all right?
Okay.
All right.
My God.
You.
You think we had a baby emergency? Yeah.
gang. Eleanor spilled water everywhere. So, because her water bottle sucks ass. So, just to be clear, there's water everywhere. Okay. All right. Eleanor's water bottle sucks. Okay.
Now, picture yourself in a room with 10 of those. Just saying.
We bought her this big, expensive water bottle, and it's really nice, and she loves it. And if you turn it upside down, it spills everywhere. So what's the frickin' point of this expensive-ass water bottle? Makes no goddamn sense. I hate this water bottle, and she loves it. Okay.
Okay,
I'm just glad that she's okay, because we didn't know what was going on. We just heard baby crying really hard, and then pause it, and okay, we're going, oh, I hope
She
okay.
slipped and fell and hurt herself, and I picked her up and I cuddled her and I wiped off all the water on her, and I told her really nicely and kindly that this was all her fucking fault because she knows that her water bottle spills water, and she was so excited to be spilling the water all over the floor. And I'm like, here, let me wipe you off. I'm sorry, Eleanor. This is your fucking fault, though. You did this to you. And I hope you know that. It's nobody's fault but your own. That's a Led Zeppelin song. So, Bonnie, Bella is way too excited about this. Netflix is creating a lot of original content. And here's the thing. Most of it is unknown to the majority of the population. Sure, they're doing Defenders and Fuller House, but for every big named creation they make, they are secretly creating 10 other shows that you may never hear about.
Okay.
Did you know Netflix has been hard at work for a long ass time creating anime?
No.
Yeah. There's the 7 Deadly Sins. Did you watch that, Bella?
Yes, that was good.
You liked that.
That was perfect.
And there's another one. And that's what we will be watching next week. Next week, we will be watching the first 2 episodes. Bella says 3, but no. The first 2, shut up, of the Netflix anime Glitter Force.
Okay.
Now there are 2 different types of Glitter Force TV show. There's Glitter Force, and then there's Glitter Force. What's the other one called?
Glitter Force Doki Doki.
Glitter Force Doki Doki. We will not be watching Glitter Force Doki Doki. I believe that's some sort of like sequel, but we're watching the original Glitter Force, the first 2 episodes. Let me try and explain this to you. It's like if Sailor Moon fucked My Little Pony. Or here's the one that really pissed off Bella. It's like if a guy from Jersey made Voltron for girls.
I hate
Like it's just some guy looked at Voltron and said, you know what, we need one of these, but for chicks. So this is what you do. You get all these chicks, you put them in these nice outfits, you give them colors and, I don't know, makeup, and then there you go. You got a Voltron for chicks. That's what we're gonna do. We're making chick Voltron.
Yes.
You compared the crappy TV show to Voltron.
I'm talking about the original Voltron. You know nothing of the original Voltron. You just know the Netflix anime reboot of Voltron. I watched the original.
I don't care. Either one. Doesn't matter. You don't compare the crappy TV show to Voltron. And
Glitter Force is like,
that was almost frightening.
I'm trying to think of things that she really likes. You know, Glitter Force reminds me of Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, I got nothing. I was just trying to piss off Bella.
I hate you so much.
Hey, Bella, I love you, okay? Okay? I love you. I love you very much.
Screw you. Just screw you.
You shouldn't say screw you to your dad because that's not respectful. You need to be respectful. You need to be biblical. You need to be honorable. You need to follow the Bible and follow Jesus. And while we're on the subject,
yes,
let me say something about Harry Potter. Warlocks are enemies of God.
So much.
Glitter Force, Bunny.
Yes.
Glitter Force. The first 2 episodes, okay?
Okay. That's gonna hurt.
This could easily be considered massively sexist if it didn't suck so much.
I'm sort of imagining that unicorn that used to poop cones that was all over Facebook for a while.
Yeah.
I'm kind of imagining 2 episodes of that.
Yeah. Oh no, this is this is going to be bad.
So this might hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is going to be exciting. This is going to be very exciting.
I'm gonna watch you.
So, yeah, no, it's going to be great. So that is next week for homework. The first 2 episodes of Glitter Force, the Netflix original anime. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to get get our girly on, basically.
Okay.
So that is next week. We hope you will join us next week for more homework with the Pope on Film podcast. And cut. Huh?
Wish you guys would watch more stuff like that.
More anime?
Yes, more anime that's like really painful to you guys, so I can watch you suffer.
There's a anime that I love called Monster Monsume, but
You keep telling me about that, and I just want to watch it now.
you shouldn't. It's ridiculously sexual. It is
So is every other single
Yeah, so is
anime
every
on the
anime.
face of
Like
the earth.
every anime is ridiculously sexual. One of these days we should try and Bunny and I should try and watch and make fun of what's the name of that stupid skating anime that you guys were obsessed
Yuri
about?
on Ice?
Yuri on Ice. There you go. There's an ice skating anime, and apparently it's like the shit right now.
Really?
And it's causing all of these like teenage and 20-something girls to just be obsessed with ice skating, and it's so fucking weird
So much.
that
Screw
like
you.
Eleanor, that like Emerald and Amber and Bella are just all into ice skating now. It's really weird, and it's all because of this fucking Japanese anime that's considered like one of the best. They get actual footage of professional ice skaters and animate them as best as possible. It's impressive how realistic the ice skating sequences are, but also it's fucking ice skating. It's really weird. And they used to watch it all of the time, and apparently I don't know a lot about ice skating, so I would always piss them off because they're like, oh, is that Yuri skating? Is he going to do a triple Saukow? Is he going to do a triple Saukow? He's probably just going to do a double Saukow, but he should do a triple Saukow. I hope he does a triple Saukow.
Yes.
And then this being ice skating, there's only like, I don't know, what, like 20 or 30 moves. So eventually he'd be like, and he landed the triple Saukow. And I'd be like, yes, he did it! Saukow! Kids, you don't know ice skating as well as I do, but the greatest move out there is the triple Saukow. You should talk to... Oh, the quadruple Saukow. Now you're just talking crazy about it.
Well, I'm just thinking about the Iron Cross.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So many people come after
I love Yuri on Ice. But anyway, next week we're doing Glitter Force. This is going to be beautiful. I love this so much. So we still have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about King Kong. We have to talk about Godzilla. We have to talk about John Cena, which is weird.
Yeah.
We have to talk about Elmo. We have to talk about Batman, which is weird. We have to talk about Godzilla Final Wars and Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. Remember that? That's going to be important. And, of course, Ruth Buzzy.
Ruth Buzzy.
Yeah, Ruth Buzzy better watch her back. But before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break?
I think we should take a break.
We should take a break.
We should take a break. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. You're making more food for yourself. You have to get to bed, Bella. You have to get to bed. Like, seriously, you're taking so much time making more food. You had dinner. You need to get to bed.
Hey.
It's like, I need to go to bed. It's 15 minutes past my bedtime. I better make a sandwich. That's not how sleep works. Your bedtime is 8:30. It was past that. I believe last year your bedtime was 8, so you're welcome. Oh, well, that just means your parents are... no, I was going to say, you know...
Transgender.
No, we're not transgender. Being a woman sucks. Although I have often fantasized about being a woman, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
My humor in a man's body is horrible. But my humor in a woman's body, I would immediately become a manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah, I could see that, frankly.
Yeah. Like my humor at work and managers are just like, oh, that's just Steve being weird. But if I was in a woman's body with the same attitude, the same mannerisms, the same way that I act, people would just be like, oh man, that Stevina, she's so perky.
Yes.
She's just so quirky. She's a quirky turkey. Yeah, it would help my career if I was a woman. That's sad. Men don't do story times.
No.
It's all middle-aged white women.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before we get to any of that, maybe we should take a break. Should we take a break? Did we already do this?
We should take a break.
Okay. We will be right back with more of the Pope on Film after these commercial messages. Do 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 dee dee da do dee ya do ba dee da da do.
Bob takes absolutely no pleasure in the stimulants in which Bob sometimes so badly indulge. It is not in the pursuit of pleasure that pearled life and reputation and reason. It has been the desperate attempt to escape from torturing memories, from a sense of insupportable loneliness and a dread of some strange impending doom.
Oklahoma news.
Casino Royale is too much for one James Bond. Join the Casino Royale fun movement.
Mr. Bond, I'm Lieutenant Mathis of the Special Police.
Peter Sellers is James Bond.
These are my credentials.
They appear to be in order. Ursula Andress is James Bond. David Niven is James Bond. Woody Allen is James Bond.
My doctor says I can't have bullets enter my body at any time. What if I said I was pregnant?
Joanna Pettit is James Bond.
Rather warm in here, don't you think?
Cool it, Charlie.
Casino Royale is too much for one James Bond. Orson Welles is the heaviest heavy of Smirch. Dahlia Lavey is James Bond.
I'm the new secret weapon.
They've got us on the run with guns and knives. We're fighting for our lives. Casino Royale is too much for one James Bond. Next, Terence Cooper is James Bond. Barbara Boucher is James Bond. Casino Royale is indestructibly wild.
Hello, sailor.
Indescribably funny.
Oh, you like that sort of thing, eh?
Join the Casino Royale fun movement.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film. Well then, my little bunny foo-foo.
Yes.
This week on the Pope on Film podcast, we are discussing battles. Some of the most legendary cinematic battles known to mankind. Some serious one-on-one battles in the history of Hollywood. We're going to be talking about some of those. Of course, Freddy versus Jason.
Yes.
Legendary letdown that was. Alien versus Predator, which I hear is a movie that existed.
I have heard that too.
Who could forget the knockdown, drag-out fight known as Kramer versus Kramer?
Yes.
That was another huge battle. Oh, and who could forget the legendary, gory, bloody film, Elmo versus Grover?
Oh, that was a good fight, though.
That scared me. The blood. There was so much blood. But I was happy to finally see Grover get some comeuppance because, Grover was Elmo before Elmo was Elmo. Now
That's
Sesame
correct.
Street is just the Elmo show starring a bunch of other Muppets. And it's sad. Kids don't even know who Ernie and Bert are anymore. It's sad.
It is very sad because I grew up, there was no Elmo for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all about the Grover.
Oh, yeah. Grover was the shit. Grover was the freaking man.
Mm-hmm.
So, Maxwell, what are you doing awake? Go to the bathroom, baby. Go to the bathroom. Are you sleepwalking? Go to the bathroom.
No, alright, fine.
If you need to go potty, then go potty, baby. I think Maxwell's sleepwalking.
Ah.
Every once in a while, he'll just wait. What, Maxwell? What are you doing, baby? What are you doing? Are you aware of what you're doing? It's nighttime. You need to get back to bed, baby. If you need to go potty, then go potty, okay? He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Hi, Maxwell. What's going on? Do you need to go potty?
Come here. Come here. Come with me.
It's okay, baby. It's okay. Did you have a nightmare? The robots aren't controlling us. All right, then. Batman v Superman, which I know you loved, Bunny. I remember when we did that movie on the podcast, you just could not stop crying.
I could not stop crying, no.
You just the whole time.
But I also couldn't stop crying over Ape either,
Oh, APE, Attack of the Giant Horny Gorilla. God, I love that movie. So much. God, I love that movie. Let's see some other legendary battles. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and the much lesser known Universal monster movie, The Battle of the Invisible Men.
It was actually just an empty room. And then occasionally you heard sound effects, like, oh, ah,
Yes.
oh, oh. How you like some of this? Oh, and stuff like that. It was just an empty room, though.
I just had a strange, completely unrelated thought. It is a thought related to our last segment.
Okay.
What if we redo both Boys Beware and Girls Beware? Okay. By just pulling the narration from the films. Okay. And Boys Beware would then be an instructional guide for how pedophilias can actually find and seduce young boys.
Like a handy how-to.
Yes.
For America's pedophilias and priests.
Yes, and how properly to go about a date rape.
That might be brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just switched the sides for who this movie is for.
Yeah, exactly. But it still works.
Yeah. Sorry. That just came in my head. I couldn't help it, and it had to go away.
No, it's a good idea. It's got merit. So continuing on with legendary one-on-one battles, or one-on-a-bunch, there's the Navy versus the Night Monster featuring Mamie Van Doren. Yes. And who could forget the follow-up, the Army Reserves versus the Dusk Mummy featuring Ruth Buzzy. Instead of the name V, it's the Army Reserves, and they can only fight the monster one weekend a month.
Yes.
And instead of the Night Monster, this is the Dusk Mummy. So it's a mummy, but it only comes out during dusk.
Yes.
There's the alleyway fight and They Live.
Yes.
There's Rocky versus Apollo and Rocky 2. Who could forget the amazing battle of Schindler versus Hitler in Schindler's List?
Uh-huh. Yes.
That was an amazing fight. That was an incredible fight.
But you knew how it was going to come out. Just look at the reach Liam Neeson has.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Hitler can't even... Liam Neeson can punch Hitler 5 times before Hitler can get in close enough to land a blow.
Yeah.
He's got those short little arms.
Hitler was a skinny guy, but he'll crawl you,
Yeah.
He'll crawl you.
Yeah. Everybody thinks that Nazi salute is just a sign of hatred, but it was also Hitler trying to lengthen his arms and get a better reach by just throwing it out there forcefully like that, hoping to get an extra couple of inches.
Yeah. But of course, when you're talking about famous one-on-one battles in cinematic history, what, Bella? You have to talk about one of the most hyped, most beloved, and most batshit insane movies of all time, the 1962 Toho Confusion Fest, King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yes.
Note that it's actually King Kong versus Godzilla, not King Kong v Godzilla, because that would be fucking stupid. I'm looking at you, DC Cinematic Universe.
Uh-huh.
So, first of all, despite what you may have heard, and this is very important, and I wanted to lead off with this. Despite what you may have heard, despite the rumors and the websites and the urban legends, wherever you may have read this movie only has one ending.
Really?
Yes.
I have always heard of the 2 endings.
Yeah, everybody has heard that. In fact, the Wikipedia page for this movie has the lengthy bit describing the urban legend surrounding the ending to this film is almost as long as the lengthy bit describing the plot. But it is widely believed that in the American version that King Kong wins, and that in the Japanese version Godzilla wins. I had a kids book, a series of kids books from the 80s. They were a series of orange books. Eleanor, you're making this sound very unprofessional, baby. Why you gotta drag it down like that? What happened, Bella? What?
He wants mom. He won't tell me anything.
He just wants mom? Okay. I think he has started sleepwalking. And then he just gets up and he doesn't know what's going on. Like, he had a bad dream, and so now he's just wandering around the living room. I'm not sure what the deal is, but
He said he wanted to go home.
he said he wanted to go home. Yeah, no,
He wanted to go home.
yeah, he's sleepwalking. He's definitely sleepwalking. You need to go to bed, Bella.
I know.
Okay. So I had this series of kids books from the 80s. They were orange books, old school. They were filled with the history and the description of old school monster movies and you could pretty much find them in every library in the 80s. They were the Crestwood House Monster series, but they are more better known as the Orange Monster books. That's how everybody knows them.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with these.
Yeah, no, my school had most of them, and then when I grew up and looked on the internet, I realized, holy shit, everybody who grew up in the 80s had these in their library, apparently.
Nice.
So,
I would have loved that.
Yeah, no, they were old. They focused on old school characters, so it would be the history of Dracula the book, and then Dracula the series. I remember the Dracula book ended with a look at Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, but the book began with a fairly accurate kids' book description of the plot of the original Bela Lugosi Dracula, and it had pictures, and it was really interesting. And I saw the Dracula one first, and I'm like, oh, do you have others? And they had Dracula and Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman had one, Creature from the Black Lagoon had one, Phantom of the Opera had one, and there was a King Kong one, and there was a Godzilla one. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that both of those books, both of them, stated the false narrative that there were two different endings to this Godzilla film.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, both books said that.
I have just always heard that.
Yeah. It's insane. Because there's no truth to that.
Well, because it doesn't look like anybody actually wins.
Yeah, no, here is the truth to it. In the American and in the Japanese version, King Kong wins. However, it was feared that Japanese audiences would not be okay with having the American monster beat the Japanese monster, despite the fact that you also have to realize that this is only the third Godzilla film. I'm going to end up saying this over and over again. This is only the third Godzilla film, and at the time, in Japan, King Kong was probably more popular than Godzilla.
Aha.
Because the only films that were out were Godzilla and Godzilla Strikes Again, and that's it. And those were two kind of downers. King Kong had been around for a while, and everybody knew King Kong. King Kong was probably more popular at the time. It was this film that made Godzilla. But they still thought in Japan, like, I'm still not sure if people are gonna 100% dig on the American monster beating the Japanese monster. So what they did is at the end of the movie they added a Godzilla roar in post to keep the ending vague enough to warrant possibly more Godzilla movies. Again, remember, this is only the third Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
So, and now, even in the American version, if you're watching the American version of King Kong versus Godzilla, that vague roar at the end of the film pops up on occasion, leaving the ending vague. Like in the original American version, it makes it's quite obvious. Okay, King Kong won. He's swimming back to his island now, and Godzilla has been defeated.
Yeah.
The end. Bye, guys. It's pretty obvious. Okay, King Kong wins. But that roar adds a vagueness to it. Like, oh, wait, is Godzilla still around? I guess we'll never know who wins. So that led Legendary Pictures, who are busy world building with their Godzilla-centered MonsterVerse. Be sure and check out last week's episode of the Pope on Film if you haven't yet. So Legendary recently announced that their Kong versus Godzilla movie will, in fact, have a definite victor. And I'm just going to be real honest with you guys and just come out and say it. Much like John Cena versus Rob Van Dam at ECW One Night Stand in 2006, if King Kong wins, we riot. Okay? As a kid, nothing fucking pissed me off more than watching King Kong versus Godzilla and watching that old white guy say, Kong is a thinking animal. His brain is considerably larger. King Kong's brain, being an ape, is the size of Andre the Giant, whereas Godzilla's brain is the size of this small marble.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say to people is Godzilla's a fucking idiot and King Kong is a smart-ass beast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait a fucking second. Godzilla can shoot fucking fire and has a massive tail and he's cool, and King Kong is a fucking idiot who eats power lines. Nothing pissed me off more than having Godzilla, number one, having Godzilla be so dissed like that.
See, but I still had it. King Kong is still my boy. So I was happy with the ending.
I'm not done yet. You told me to wait. Oh, like I like King Kong and I like all the King Kong movies and I like how Kong Skull Island successfully broke away from a lot of King Kong movie tropes in the sense that a lot of the characters that were in the film actually survived.
Mm-hmm.
But God damn it, I was so pissed off when that fucking old ass scientist is Godzilla is not a thinking creature. He is a dumbass. He is sheer brute strength.
I didn't like them running down Godzilla. No.
Whereas Kong is a thinking animal. His brain is considerably larger. Like, no, fuck you. So here are some stats. King Kong vs. Godzilla, a 1962 movie by Toho Studios, the house that Godzilla built. This film is in the record books as the first film to feature Asians in blackface that allow kids to have cigarettes.
Yes.
That is a first, I believe, in Japanese cinema.
And when you first saw that, being a kid, what is the only conclusion that you can really draw? Apparently, there are no black people in Japan.
Yes. Yes.
And not only that, but they also do not have access to black people in Japan.
Yeah.
So we'll just take a bunch of Japanese people and paint them.
Yeah.
Unless you're hot.
Yeah. Skeeto! 2 transistors. I like the two leads in this very much.
Yeah.
There's the more serious guy, and then there's kind of the funnier guy. They're the Abbott and Costello of Godzilla films, basically.
Oh yes, they most certainly are. But I have a problem with The Wire.
The Wire?
Yeah.
You mean the legendary TV show about cops?
No, The Wire in this film.
Oh, The Wire in this film.
He's stronger than steel.
Oh, yes. Stop it. You're not Tarzan. Yeah.
Because if I was to wrap you up in wires and lift you, how long do you think it would be before that wire just slashed your limbs off?
Oh, I see what you're getting at there.
So they would have delivered an armless, legless Kong to Godzilla.
Yeah, and then it turns into what, Johnny Get Your Kong.
Yes.
Basically. We've come up with a great movie mashup.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And she wants back in her seat. And she is a endless pit. Eleanor is eating so much. I'm pretty sure, like, at first it's like, oh, maybe she has like a tapeworm, but no, maybe a tapeworm has Eleanor inside of her.
Yes.
Is now how I'm looking at this baby. She's just eating and eating and eating. So Toho Studios was celebrating their 30th anniversary, and okay, we need a big spectacle of a movie to celebrate. Mm-hmm. So as it happens, all the way in America at this time, the original animator of King Kong, the guy who did the stop motion and all of that, his name was What You Talking About, Willis O'Brien.
Yeah.
He had an idea for a movie, King Kong versus Frankenstein, where Frankenstein's monster grows to kaiju proportions. See, Frankenstein grew to monstrous proportions because he gets his power from lightning. That was a holdover.
Aha! Very nice.
Yeah, that was a holdover from the original.
Because that would have worked better in Frankenstein Conquers the World.
Yeah, yeah. So, anywho, oh, thank you, honey. So, a movie producer by the name of John Beck gets a hold of this movie. What's the word where you've just written a treatment?
Yes.
He gets a hold of this Willis O'Brien treatment for King Kong versus Frankenstein and says, hey, thanks for this treatment idea. I'm going to go shop this around, Willis O'Brien, but don't worry, we'll give you credit. Just kidding. I'm not going to give him credit. Hey, guys, I'm Willis O'Brien, and I have a totally original movie idea. It's called King Kong versus Frankenstein. Anywho, yada, yada, yada. Toho got the idea, and they eventually turned it into King Kong versus Godzilla. Because apparently, Toho had always dreamed of making a King Kong movie.
Yeah.
And they ended up making 2 King Kong movies. Interesting side note, they originally were going to make 3 King Kong movies. But at the last second, they said, hey, King Kong versus Godzilla, that was huge for us. That was massive. King Kong Escapes, not so much. Are we working on a 3rd King Kong movie? Crap, no one's going to watch that. Come on, guys, change it to Godzilla at the last second. Change it to Godzilla. Change it to Godzilla. Which is why there is one Godzilla movie that is in no way like the others.
Which would be?
Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. Number 1, Godzilla is a sea monster.
Yes.
Number 2,
Godzilla is found sleeping inside of a mountain in the jungle. Number 3, and this is the big kicker, Godzilla falls in love with a native girl.
Okay. Yeah, I'm remembering that. That was that the one where it was kind of like a lobster, the sea monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have not seen that one very much.
Yeah. That was a King Kong movie that they changed to Godzilla at the last second.
Nice.
But you can tell if you know that and you watch the film, they're like, okay, yeah, no, I can understand that because this is a bit of an odd film.
Yeah.
It doesn't 100% fit into the Godzilla world. It's a strange one.
Yeah.
So Toho makes King Kong versus Godzilla, and it was such a big hit. Then even now in our modern day, they made Shin Godzilla. They made Godzilla Final Wars, Legendary Pictures Godzilla, even that one where Godzilla died. Still, with all of those movies, King Kong versus Godzilla, in Japan, they often don't discuss box office grosses. They discuss the amount of people who watched it.
Ah, okay.
It's not how much money the movie made, it's this many people went to see the film. So King Kong versus Godzilla is still to this day the most attended Godzilla movie of all time.
Nice. Interesting.
With all of the other Godzilla movies that have been made. Yeah. In Japan, more people went to go see King Kong versus Godzilla than any other Godzilla movie ever. And that's not something you can adjust for inflation. No, that is literal just butts in seats. More people saw King Kong than any other King Kong versus Godzilla than any other Godzilla movie, and that is amazing to me.
Yeah,
I would be interested to see the numbers for the eventual legendary reboot of this film in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Something I am looking forward to.
Hell yeah!
And I don't know who to bet on.
It's got to be Godzilla. It's got to be. Legendary Pictures has to know how people like me feel about King Kong winning. You know, they want to make this movie something different, and the best way they can do that is by having Godzilla win. My money is on Godzilla here.
Yeah. I got a lot of years to think about this.
Yeah. The most important part of King Kong versus Godzilla, despite the amazement of an Asian woman named Tammy,
yes,
and an Asian man named Mr. Taco. Seriously, there is an Asian man named Mr. Taco. We all need to be talking about this more. This is important.
It is.
The most important part of 1962's King Kong vs. Godzilla is the fact that this film set a tone.
Yes.
Because, again, remember, this is only the third Godzilla movie ever, and the last two were dark.
I'm having a hard time believing that. Yeah, I believe you, but it
the
seems
last two,
later.
Yeah. No, but the last two Godzilla films were dark and brooding and so serious. Just, why so serious? This film, they're like, hey, it's Toho's 30th anniversary, and we've got this American idea for a film, and this legendary American monster. Fucking, let's have some fun with this. Let's make one that kids can actually go and see. Let's drop all this dark, brooding crap and just laugh. Stop it. You're not Tarzan.
See, me personally, I insist that Gojira and Godzilla are not the same creature.
Yes.
They are not the same creature. They are not the same movie. You know, if you want to see the first Godzilla movie, then you have to watch the one with Raymond Burr.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a good movie, you watch Gojira.
Yeah. But this film's jokey, lighthearted tone
Yes.
attached itself to Godzilla, and it stayed with Godzilla through all of the Showa series. It was this film that made people say, oh, wait a second. For the last 2 Godzilla movies, we treated them as serious art films. You mean we can have fun with monster movies? Oh, crap. Let's have some fun with this.
Yes.
Let's make the next one with these tiny midget fairy girls who sing songs together.
Mm-hmm.
And a giant moth monster. Yeah, let's just have fun. And
See, I just don't find
where it started.
I just don't find Mothra threatening.
Oh hell no!
It's a moth.
Yeah.
Rub the powder off its wings.
Yeah.
He's done.
Now Rodan is different because he's so super fast and like he's, causing things to fall and
yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been
Mothra
better with a
just,
ray weapon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing?
Mothra can be defeated if you just, all Japan needs to do is build a giant bug zapper.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that's it. You've defeated Mothra. Congratulations. The hard part about discussing King Kong versus Godzilla is the topic of the Japanese/American version of this film. Because this was back in the day when Americans still thought, wait a second, we can't just release a Japanese film in America. People won't see that. We have to add white people. So John Beck, the producer who literally stole Willis O'Brien's King Kong versus Frankenstein idea and got it made as his own film, and Willis O'Brien never got credit. So John Beck, the asshat, got the original Japanese version, which has never truly officially seen the light of day in America.
Really?
He got the Japanese version, and he's like, okay, Americans won't like this. We need to cut the shit out of this. We'll cut out all of these scenes. We'll move others around. We'll change the entire order of events. And now let's add some white people in, including American news reporter Eric Carter. Eleanor, what, baby? You're fine. Do you want me to get her out? Oh, God damn it. Okay. I'm going to try and podcast while wiping down a baby.
Okay.
This might be the first time in the history of podcasting the baby was wiped down because of her mess while also continuing to podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, so this Willis O'Brien character, he just destroyed this movie. And the Japanese version, although, silly and lighthearted and fun, is still a completely different film than the American film. When Legendary Pictures released their Godzilla reboot, the one thing that I hoped was, please, for the love of God, have Universal Pictures finally release the Japanese version of King Kong versus Godzilla in America. Put it on a Blu-ray DVD for $14.55. That'll take you, 5 seconds to make? I mean, for the love of God. Because I have never been able to find or see the Japanese version of King Kong versus Godzilla in America. It's just difficult to find.
Mm-hmm.
I could find it without subtitles.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
That's not going to help me out. So hopefully when Legendary Pictures finally gets around to making their remake, that finally maybe I can actually watch the Japanese version of King Kong versus Godzilla for once. No, that's my food. No, stay away. That's mine. I get food too. Daddies also eat. Yeah, no, this is my food. Nice try. So John Beck also got Universal. Universal released it in America, and through Universal, John Beck got access to the entire Universal Pictures cheesy music library.
Okay.
Which is why at times in this film, King Kong vs. Godzilla has music from both Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman and The Creature from the Black Lagoon, instead of legendary Godzilla composer Akira Ifukube.
He's out of a job because Americans.
Yeah. Interesting side note, Godzilla, Toho, eventually reused the King Kong suit for a monster in their Japanese sci-fi show Ultra Q, which eventually gave birth to their very hit character Ultraman, which was homework previously on the podcast because everything is connected to this show.
Everything is.
Yeah. Eleanor, it's okay. Deep breath. I was gonna say count to 10, but she can't count.
I know what she's so angry about.
What's she so angry about?
Because Rory got back with Logan Huntsberger.
Fucking Logan. What a shitty fucking guy. God damn it.
Eleanor can sense that.
I've never once liked the goddamn Life and Death Brigade. It's like, oh, we're the white privilege gang.
Yes.
We go around and show off our white privilege to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to the Monsterverse. We just had Kong Skull Island, which is a damn good movie. And Legendary Pictures' Godzilla is seen as a success, and Kong Skull Island made about $50 million more than that Godzilla film. So, technically, vicariously, that means that Kong Skull Island was a success as well.
Yes.
Next is Godzilla 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's coming out in 2019. 2 years away, and it will feature so many characters. Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Space Ghost, Kaiju B. Arthur, Waldo, and of course, everyone's favorite monster, Mecha David Spade.
Yes.
A giant, robotic David Spade who's still talking about his small one-time friendship with a dead comedian. Decades and decades later. Oh, hey, David Spade. Nice. Now let's talk about Chris Farley. Eventually, that's got to really piss you off, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, let me continue to talk about my dead, talented friend. Mwah.
But you did leave out my favorite monster.
What's your favorite monster?
Godzuki.
Godzuki.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
How can they
Godzuki.
How can they create this universe without Godzuki?
I'm sure we'll get there. So then, they're coming fast and furious too, because 2019 is Godzilla 2, and the year after that, May 2020, Godzilla vs. Kong, a big budget, Hollywood, gritty remake of King Kong vs. Godzilla. I just hope to God that they are true to the original and put in an Asian man named Taco.
Yes.
Can we get on that? Seriously? Does anyone have George Takei's email address? We need to get George Takei or whoever it was that played Sulu in the reboots.
Yes.
If we can't get Takei, then we'll get that guy. Anyway, get somebody on the phone now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's all I got. You got anything?
That's about it. I was mostly concerned about the razor wire cutting through the gigantic ape.
Johnny Get Your Kong is going to be a great film.
Yeah, he'll just be trying to communicate by shaking his head up and down.
Yeah.
And doing Morse code.
Yeah. While Metallica music plays.
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. Everybody needs to see King Kong versus Godzilla a lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So for next week, there are two movies that have recently come out, and we got to do one or the other. And so I figure we are eventually going to be doing these films. So I figure let's just put these two big eventual episodes out right in front of us on the table, and let's just get one of them out of the way now. So I leave the choice up to you, little bunny blue, come blow your horn.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or The Mummy?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Thank fucking God. I was worried you were going to say The Mummy. I don't want Tom Cruise running yet. I'll get there.
Yeah.
Just not there yet.
I am so disappointed by the trailer to The Mummy that I can just completely hate it just on those grounds alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so excited about the Universal classic monster cinematic universe, and then The Mummy came out, and it's like, oh, is this really? This is it?
And Dracula came out just before it. Well, not just before it, but a while before it. And it's not exactly the part of the dark universe, but it just pissed everybody off. I mean, it was gonna be until everybody watched it and said, "This sucks." They were like, "No, that's not a part of it."
No, not at all, not at all. We totally didn't mean what? No, not at all. Yeah,
yeah. And then they made The Mummy, and it sucks too.
Yeah.
So, and even though it has nothing to do with the dark universe, I blame I, Frankenstein as well.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I totally agree with that. So next week, we're doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It's either on the drive already or it will be tomorrow. Either way.
Okay. Thank you.
Just keep an eye out there. Also, starting next week, we will slowly but surely start celebrating the almost 3-year anniversary of this podcast.
That is correct.
Notes from the bookstore. We're going to be talking about buying your way onto the New York Times bestseller list, which is an actual thing that happens all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we are going to be getting our inner girls on with the Netflix original anime Glitter Force. I'm so excited. Bella is like exploding. She is chomping at the bit, to use Oklahoma parlance.
Yeah.
She is chomping at the bit to be able to talk about Glitter Force. And she watches it all the time. And I'm like, why are you watching this all the time? And she's so my daughter, because she says, I hate this show and it sucks and I love it.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm like, God, like that is so looking into a mirror right there, you know? And she watches it so much, and I'm like, okay, well, if you love this show so much, I guess for the first time ever, I'll pay attention, and oh my God, my eyes are burning. Oh my God, this is horrible. We must discuss this on the podcast. So yeah, no, it's a horrible, wonderful, horrible, horrible show, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Okay. I will prepare myself.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. There's so many Netflix originals that they're surprisingly not shouting in your ear about.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's next week. You know what?
What?
Looking back, taking a serious look back, I must say, I think this may have been a pretty good podcast.
This has been a damn good podcast.
I concur.
Yes. So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve saying thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Cut and print.
Cut and print.
Hope you're ready. It'll be here any minute. Is that a rifle?
You don't know what a rifle looks like?
It's just swords were your thing and guns were mine. But I guess we're both doing guns now. I just didn't know that.
Well, that's intense.
I see it within you. Fear, jealousy, betrayal. It is our duty to cleanse the universe of this weakness.
You know, they told me you people were conceited douchebags, but that isn't true at all.
Dude. I'm using my wrong eye.
Dude, put your seatbelt on!
So we're saving the galaxy again?
Yep.
Awesome! We're really gonna be able to jack up our price if we're two-time galaxy savers. Yes!
Sometimes the thing you're searching for your whole life, it's right there by your side all along.
You're right.
All you do is yell at each other. You're not friends.
No, we're family. Except maybe her.
After all these years, I've found you.
And who the hell are you?
I'm your dad, Peter.